And welcome, summoners. Welcome to Holidaze, presented by Guardian Angel League. I'm also known as the Embergler, and my friend here is.
I'm Invective. I'm really happy to be doing this with Burglar. This is, as Burglar mentioned, the Holidaze Guardian Angel League tournament. And yeah, we're super excited to bring you this 4-game tournament just to promote and celebrate the members of our community. And at the end of the day, there are going to be, as I mentioned, there's going to be 4 games. And the final game is we're going to cut down to 8 players. And for those 8 players, we are going to be giving first place 4,000 RP and then RP to the rest of the players as well.
And we want to thank our amazing sponsors, and we also like to thank the Guardian Angel team who organized Holidaze, and have a TFT tournament during the holidays, because sometimes it could be a little bit lonely. So gather your comps. Let's do this. To add, Guardian Angel League is a TFT community for women and marginalized genders. Our goal is to give it a home and aid members to achieving their goals in and out of game, and fostering a competitive yet safe environment. And let's get down to the round 1 lobbies, because I think we have a treat on our hands.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what our players have in store for us. Of these 24 players, I know that playing TFT during the holidays is like, at the very least, you're not like, oh my gosh, my cat is on the screen. You take it away, Burglar.
Honestly, for me, playing TFTs in the holidays, like I just said, doesn't. At least I don't feel like lonely. I have something to do while I'm waiting, or even if I'm waiting around for a family, or needing to travel. I think it's important to celebrate all that Gal has done so far this year and what was to come next year. So more for that. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. This is.
Cat's still bothering you?
He's definitely on the mouse pad. I don't know if he wants more food or what, but thank you for being patient with me. I'm a little bit frazzled. No, this is an awesome tournament just to be doing before the holidays. I feel like this is a time when people can get lonely, and it's really nice to have something to do with members of your community, with people that you start to feel a little bit of connection with, and I think that's like really a beautiful thing to be doing. So happy to be a part of this.
And we're still waiting on our round 1 lobbies, but to bring it back a little bit, we did have Gals Giving not too long ago, and there were some really close moments. We're kind of now going into about midway point of the set, if I can recall correctly. So what would you expect to see now? It's been a little bit over a month.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that if you've been to Macau, I feel like the competitive season has certainly already started for this set. But other than that, the Americas are still waiting for the first set of tacticians trials, the snapshots and whatever. So yeah, we're sort of midway through the set, but as for this patch, I think people really do have a strong grasp of what's going on already. There are some really dominant stuff. There's some really dominant stuff, like a variety of 2-cost reroll compositions. But I would also say that there's some niche stuff popping up as well. I really enjoy watching like Lone Hero Lux with Bloodthirster and 2 Archangels. You can get Lux to just do some really disturbing stuff at the end of the fight. If we get to see it today, I'll be very happy.
We kind of talked about this off stream, but I love Conquer, so I really hope we get to see some really good Conquer gameplay, so that the one trick pony can talk about that. But also we have stuff like Kog'Maw showing up. We have Nocturne showing up. We even still have Violet showing up, even though she got that nerf. What do you think about Family now that it's been nerfed a little bit?
I mean, it sort of still feels like a standard reroll composition, but the way that artifacts work in this game, I feel like when you do have appropriate artifacts for a carry like Violet or a carry like Nocturne, it really just pushes it over the edge, and it's just about as dominant as it has ever been.
And now we have our round one lobbies. Do you see anyone that strikes out to you that you may have seen in Gal's Giving?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that I'm familiar with maybe a third of these players personally. I know Celeste, I've seen her play in stuff like Aegis before. I mean, Laura's playing, that's amazing. And then I know Coralie had a really great performance in Gal's Giving and has been, breaking into competitive events more and more. So excited to see her compete as well.
I believe Coralie is a grand champion back in the day when Gal ran before coming back. So it's really exciting to see that. I've seen Boy Wife around. I see Jordan around. I'm really excited to see some of these players here, so that they have something to do. They have people that they're familiar with. It's great to see Laura play. Shout out to Laura. And with that, are we set to go in?
Okay.
So we still have, I think, 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, no sweat on the start of the lobbies. I just want to say that all of these players, or at the very least, a lot of these players, have very fun tags on their Riot IDs. Hashtag Aura is a great one. Hashtag LGBT, let them know. Hashtag Yuri, maybe too much. It's all good.
We also I also noticed Nemo. Shout out to Nemo too. They've been here. I think they've been here since the beginning of the revival of Gal. So that's nice to see too. Siren TFT had a few strong performances in the past tournaments. So yeah, we just have a lot of familiar people back, and it's great to see. The new folks I haven't seen, and I'm excited to see. I believe is Laconic Priestess. So I hope we get to see what they cook up. SY, I think, if I'm not pronouncing that incorrectly, I'm sorry. And Rainy Day, they're also back. They were here at the revival of the set, or the revival Gal too. So Tostitos and Dip, what a great name. Great brand, great salsa. I don't believe I've seen them around either. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of fun. I feel like, if you do play in these tournaments, I hope you can speak to this, but I think I would be happy to see returning faces over and over again upon playing in multiple Gal events. And it's also nice watching as a caster being able to commentate. Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
So let's go back to a little bit of meta talk while we still wait. What's your thoughts on Kog'Maw? I feel like we're going to be seeing some Kog'Maw today. It's just too good not to play.
Yeah, I mean, Kog'Maw definitely really solid with Automata now, and I think that I'm not really as familiar with the nitty gritty of what makes that comp work, but I just think that having the raw stats, having a +1, you'll if you do get in that position, Kog'Maw is very, very strong. I can't really say much else other than the artifacts are as strong on Kog'Maw as they've ever been.
I noticed that people often prio the components, and then as soon as they hit or they see a automata angle, grabbing a spat, they'll take it, right? Because its win rate is actually really good, and its top 4 rate is the highest currently as it stands. So as I said, I kind of expect to see it be played today. I want to also touch on, we saw in Macau, we saw Academy Heimer do well, and I wonder if that'll be picked up too.
Yeah, I mean, I think Heimerdinger might struggle a little bit depending on the way that things play out. I haven't seen a lot of Heimer being played among the people that I spectate, but at the same time, it is one of my favorite comps. I think that being able to play around your academy items is really good, and if you get a +1 or even a +2 based on the context, something like Wandering Trainers showing up and getting +2 Academy, then you could really dominate all stages of the game, because at the start of the game you get those extra items to work with. It's just giving you an extra buff over the rest of the lobby, and then later on in the game you have all that extra damage amp on which to, buff your base stats that you've acquired over the course of the game. So I think it really is just a powerful trait if you do get, a really good spot for it.
And speaking of good spots, when we're playing Wandering Trainer, we hit a Black Rose emblem. I feel like you're just playing Black Rose, and we know that in the beginning of the set, it was really hard to deal with. However, its pick rate it's still one of the highest comps to be picked. But now diving into round 1, we got Mel with powerful loot at 40 player health. Invective, have you played this portal at all? Like, what's the strat, do you think?
I mean, this portal calls back to the long tradition of having a stimmy. Back in the COVID days when we released the Radiant Blessing, I think that some of Mel's loot is a little bit more powerful than other cash outs have been in the past. But yeah, I mean, this is just a stimmy portal.
I'd be very curious to see if someone runs Chem Barons and just ints and gets all the stacks and then gets the blessing and comes back stronger. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see that. That'd be really exciting to see. Although Chem Baron did get the nerfs, right? But the items are still powerful.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would say that if you get to play around Chem Baron with a really powerful spot, like, it's so worth it. I've seen some disturbing stuff happen with Chem Baron, and particularly with War for the Undercity, which can give you, a lot of extra time to work with, a lot of extra health. It can be very, very powerful.
And then something to add to, we also saw it at Macau. It didn't end in the fashion that they probably wanted, but we did see someone hit the particular item, and then I think come 7th. I'm not quite sure on the placement. It was definitely a bot 4, but it's just goes to show that, like, these players are willing to sacrifice, their placements for higher ambitions, right? Especially with that, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, playing for first is playing for first. This is going to be an interesting spot here from Rainy taking Pandora's items. I want to know what they're making. The Warmog's off the rip, I think. Is this just going to be an AP default situation, or maybe we're going into Rebels? I have no idea. I rarely see people take Pandora's items and then slam every single component.
I would have to agree. I've only played Pandora's once, and that was to make sure that I secured a bow, because kind of stuff I play is kind of inoperable without that. But we have Celeste here with, I'm not sure what they have.
That augment is high voltage, which gives you a spark and increases the range. But yeah, this is a cool augment.
And we have someone here who's playing trainer dummy for that 1 extra gold. Do you think Celeste is just playing standard? Whatever they've hit, or whatever she's hit, they're gonna play, tempo, whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I would tend to think so. Slamming the Shojin on the Vi is kind of interesting, but Violet punches. She does a good job. I mean, that being said, you don't have an upgraded backliner, so I don't even mind this. I do think Celeste is probably going to tempo out of this spot. Maybe if the lobby is open to it, you'd be able to reroll Renata on level 6. But that being said, you don't have the Sentinel frontline yet, so it's still up in the air. I think you'd be happy playing Rebels out of this spot. The Shojin could go on Zoe, it could go on Jinx. And yeah, I mean, over on the other side, you can see SY very committed with the Enforcer on the target dummy, and that could be really powerful later on in the game.
Yes, yes. I haven't had the pleasure of running into 10 Enforcer, but I've heard other folks have, and it has tilted them. So, be interesting to see later on in the game. And I want to point out the fact you brought up Renata. Renata was in Celeste's shop, and she didn't pick it up. So, I'm assuming that's not their game or her gameplay.
Yeah. As for Rio here, I think that this spot, ooh, this is a hard spot to play because really, all you have in this spot, you have a little bit of defense, in terms of the items you're able to slam, and then otherwise you just have an open loss streak. So I want to see if Rio can pull this together, right? Because basically you're staring into the void. You've got to figure out what direction the game gives you, and that can be really really difficult. And over on the other side, we have
We have a
that's
Vlad.
Rogue. So, wait, who is Oh, it's Cat Noir, which is rocking the whisker, which is very cute. But yeah, having the Vlad hero augment, I feel like that's a lot of direction.
And I noticed that they slammed a Archangel, so I believe the longer this game goes, the longer the rounds go, and once they do hit that Vlad 3, they should be able to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, for sure. And there is going to be a spatula being offered on this carousel. So like you said, if somebody wants to play Automata, that is even on a Nocturne.
Oh man, that feels like getting a gold plate delivered to you, saying here you go. I would love to see where Fluid Phlegm is after if we can, and see if that Automata spot will show up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of power being offered on this carousel. Even some of our win streakers were able to pick up stuff that's very powerful. And yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to be Automata, but definitely, holding the units, angling for that maybe in the mid game.
I can also see a world where they potentially play Rebel. They do have that set up. I believe Sojin's one of the best items on Ezreal currently. You do also have an Urgot in your shop, and he's an artillerist. I wonder if you pick that up too, just because. I also believe that I think Urgot might be a little more tankier than Umumu, so not sure on the play there.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I feel like this front line is a little bit suspicious for now. It feels like we have ideas of what we want to get to, but it's not all coming together on the board that we currently have. Which I think I get. It's a frustrating place to be, but Urgot's a better utility unit than Tristana is if all your units are 1-star.
And then on the other side, you had the Gangplank with a Bruiser emblem and a Rage Blade. Those are really good items for him. Yeah, I'd be very scared to see that later in game.
Yeah, I mean, here with Rogue Cat, having this Gambler's Blade, I think that they might be angling Kog'Maw as well, but at the same time, I'm wondering if they're not interested in maybe like a Watcher version of Kog'Maw as opposed to the Automata version of Kog'Maw. So I'm not sure how those stack up against each other, and if players can test each other on the Kog'Maw, I think that might be disastrous for both players.
Yep, as always. Me, on the other hand, if I was playing, I wouldn't worry about playing Kog'Maw. Let them cancel each other out. It means, two players you don't have to worry about later in tournament. So maybe they'll just do a handshake. Maybe one can move on. We shall see. We have rainy day on a 5 streak, so that's gotta feel good.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any spot that you want to be in with Pandora's items, I think being on a 5 streak with these items slammed, it's a wonderful place to be. We are going to have the opportunity maybe to play up to 4 bruisers in the mid game. That could be really powerful, repelling. But I do still wonder, what's the carry we ultimately want to play in the late game?
With the Jewel Gauntlet, what would your 4-cost unit ideally be if you got to choose?
Yeah, I mean, in this spot, I would think to angle for Silco and Black. I think that that might just be the easiest way to play the game out from this position, and you would have decent itemization for Dr. Mundo as well with this Warmogs. I'm just curious to see what items do they want to hold, and where are we going with this? Do we want to slam the red buff, for example, right now?
Right, right. I'm very curious to see what this bow is being held for. So I guess we shall stay tuned for that. Let's quickly take a look at where Celeste is, if we can. So 4 Sentinel, 2 Visionary. Is this an angle where you play Renata?
Yeah, I mean, I think you mentioned that she might have skipped Renata earlier on in the game, but I would say that it's never too late to get back in if you take a look around and you figure out that, in fact, it's not very contested. I mean, this is a great spot for it as far as I'm concerned, because you have this strong front line. And I think the only thing that you would need to put the puzzle pieces together is you get an Archangels on Renata, and then I really think you're in business.
My only, not necessarily complaint, but I would have suggested picking up the Morgana, because now you're level 5, you're not going to see as much. So it'd be interesting to see how you play that out. And we're going to the Pandora. Oh, do we have a Pandora's bench?
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay, so Morgana's not entirely off the table if she does decide to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that you are going to angle on the side of Vex for a little while, just because she fits more neatly with the Rebel units. I'm also curious to see how deep Celeste wants to roll here, because when you do have Pandora's Bench, it can be beneficial to roll for upgraded 2 costs, and then be able to transfer them into the units that you are ultimately rerolling for.
So I don't think we still have a clear direction where she's going, but we do have an idea where she's going. So we could check back in with her later. Oh wait, our 100 player has just fallen. I wonder what happened.
Yeah, I mean, there's a chance they ran into Boywife. So I think one interesting thing is Boywife has a Gangplank 2 with Infinity Edge, Rageblade, and the Bruiser Spat. I think that's ideal if they want to play Twitch. I have no idea if that's what they're going for, but really, it's just so strong.
We also just have seen that SY is holding a Echo, and I've heard that there is some secret sniper Echo tech that I don't know how it works, but it's worked.
Yeah, I'll say this. I don't... that sounds like a secret to me as well. I am not familiar with the secret Echo tech, but, Rio did hit a lot of those units out of the Recombobulator, and it seems like the Alawis are going to be really contested this game, right? She's been a wonderful frontliner for a large part of the set, but look, Fluid Femme is playing around Rebels, already has this Garen, and is really angling hard towards that Rebel line, but at the same time, Celeste might want Alawi. Was it Rio or... Yeah, Rio recombobbed, has an Alawi. It's shaping up to be an interesting game, playing around a lot of 4 costs and some 2 costs as well.
For me personally, I think Rebel is great. I think Rebel is very strong, especially if you... I know this is going to be a little crazy to say, because I know Corky's the better artillerist, but Ezreal's pretty good too. So seeing the Sojin on him, and you got the Rebel Spat, you're in a good position as long as you're not, again, being contested, which could be a little more difficult.
Oh yeah, totally. And there's some powerful stuff on this carousel. I know that Rio has a Silco, so having a tier on a Dr. Mundo could be very beneficial if you want to play around him as your backline carry. And Rio is going to go for it.
Wow, it's like you're a mind reader. That's a really powerful pickup for them too.
Yeah, for sure. Celeste, we know that she has Pandora's, but getting the Loris can be very good. I feel like Loris is such a good mid-game tank, and just has a lot of value on your board, even when he's not your main tank, because he does absorb damage through his shield. And yeah, I mean this board has a lot of value on it. It's just not so many synergies. We'll see if Rio levels up, stops the loss streak here.
While you have also said you're sitting on 2 Alaois, your chances do go up a little bit at level 7. If they're lucky, they could hit, and then they don't have to worry about that, right? Whereas the other folks who are playing Rebel will be.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now, I mean, let's see. This fight, I feel like against the Enforcers could be difficult. Twisted Fate, not the most powerful unit in the world, but certainly doing a lot of work here, being powered up by the base of the synergy, like base high level synergy, and Rio's going to take another loss. So this could start to get frustrating, but let's remember, sacking HP is a viable strategy in this particular game. We are going to see these players start to get Mel's Blessing at 40 HP.
We also have Boy Wife just wrecking it up with this Gangplank Bruiser.
Oh yeah, I mean this is so insane. We're not even at 6 Bruiser yet. If you roll a little bit, you might be able to find one of those Bruisers, but this is so powerful.
If you were in their shoes, would you be rolling to secure that 6 Bruiser, or would you just hold off? Considering you're on a win streak, you're pretty much like good for top 4 already.
Yeah, I'm happy with what Boy Wife did. I think upgrading Rennie is a good place to stop. I think you are still significantly more powerful than the rest of the lobby, and if you want to get 6 Bruiser, it's not that difficult because you have the +1. You just need Nunu. But at the end of the day, I think they're still happier to go to level 8, still happier to play around Twitch than they are to sit here at level 7 and reroll the Bruisers, because I don't think that they have stuff like the artifacts that are necessary to make units like Rennie really, really powerful.
You don't really need to worry about power when you have, you know, a Gangplank stacking up to 38 stacks on his Rage Blade.
You could be right about that, but I think that ultimately the Gangplank would be happy to be a Twitch, and the Bruiser holder would be happy to be a Dr. Mundo.
With Rio kind of holding units from other players, I think, you know, they must be thinking, how do we get rid of this person so we can get our units, right? I'd be very interested to see what this Blessing is, just because, you know, that could be a huge game changer.
Yeah, I think it could be a huge game changer. But one thing I want to point out, I mean, okay, at least you're going to have the 4-2 turn if Fluid Fem, and Rio lose the next round. But I just want to say that it's one of the worst feelings in the world to be playing this kind of portal and to end your turn at 41 or 42 HP. It's just like, could you not have killed me a little bit harder? Because if you killed me a little bit harder, I would actually have my power now. And Rio's going to be doing their roll down. So they do have to spend their gold in this situation a little bit earlier than they might want to, because they don't have the direction that they would otherwise get from that Stimmy. But, I mean, the board's not all that strong anyways. We are going to be playing Silco and the Dominators for now.
I do think that this is a pretty good, like, you're going into that just because, you know, you are bleeding out. You have hit the LeBlanc, you did hit Morgana, you have Silco, and you fully itemized them as well.
Yeah, and it is going to be a lot of casts coming out of this Silco. I think that really benefits the way that they're playing with the vertical Dominators. But I am just concerned because I feel like you need a strong front line to make this work. And they'll have another turn to figure that out after they get this cash out and after they get their 3rd augment, which could turn things around for sure.
I'd be very curious to see what or about the Visionary Crest could. Oh wait, no, I spoke too soon. I feel like Visionary could definitely have helped there. What do you take in this position, do you think?
I mean, I think this is really tough. Overheal is perhaps one of the weaker options. I'm concerned about that, because there is going to be healing coming through, but these units are not AD units. That 3rd auto attack is not going to be doing a ton, but hey, I mean, they hit a lot of the upgrades that they needed to hit, and I think that could start to make a difference here.
It was a Tactician's Crown.
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
that's pretty huge considering they are trying to play Black Rose and Dominator. This is probably a way to climb a little bit back into the game for sure. That's a big thing.
I agree. That's a lot of power. I think Celeste is found herself in an interesting position. Didn't reroll on level 6 for Renata. I think that's totally fine. But after taking reinforcement, I think she didn't find what she wanted to on the roll down. And now this spot is looking a lot more concerning because she doesn't have a whole lot of combat power from her augments or a whole lot of combat power on her board. And it's going to be a tough matchup into the enforcers. A narrow loss, but a loss nonetheless.
With that loss, now how many of the players do you think were paying attention to that cash out, knowing that they will be getting a tactician's crown the more health they lose?
I mean, I think that it's tough to plan around because we did see it only starting in stage 4, but yeah, it is a lot of power. I think Cat Noir is in a tough spot. The Black Rose units are contested. They did find a LeBlanc on level 7, so that's very powerful, but unfortunately, you know, this Vladimir is just not strong enough, not upgraded to 3-star, doesn't have an incredible front line, not many Watchers in this front line. It's going to start to be difficult here.
I can agree with that. If you don't hit your 3-star as soon as possible, you start to fall off, and then once you start falling off, it spirals out of control.
Yeah, it's really tough for sure. No, this is a hard game to play sometimes, but I think that, you know, at the start of the game when you commit yourself to Vladimir, you can still like, you can make things tough for yourself in that way. It is going to be a win though over Boywife, who was streaking for so long, level to 8, didn't find Twitch 2, and maybe didn't even find the Mundo 2, so that looks to be a more frustrating spot for them.
For sure. I want to also note, Cat Noir and Rio, they're kind of contesting each other, and they're at the bottom of the ladder. So it's be very interesting to see them eventually cross paths if that happens. So I'm very curious to see which one will come on top, right? Because they both hit LeBlanc, right? So
Yeah, I mean that's tough. I think Cat Noir needs Vladimir 3 to start winning some rounds, but they still have to find a front line that's, you know, more suitable. We have another player who's rocking Pandoras in this game, so I think that, you know, this seems to be quite a valuable pickup in terms of the Alawi pair, in terms of the Mbessa in this particular spot. I think SYSY just is a little bit behind, the curve in terms of where they want to be in econ for this composition. I would just say that once you get a 5 cost, you can start rolling it for Caitlyn, and you're going to be a whole lot happier with that.
I also want to point out Anomaly is coming up, and we've seen some very powerful ones where, you know, you got Deep Roots, you've got Ultimate Hero, even though I don't think we've seen a reroll comp, have we? No reroll family.
Yeah, 1 cost not in this game, so that is something we're missing from the picture. Ooh, just the target dummy surviving at the end, and that's not going to be enough to win it for SYSY. I mean, I think that's a hard spot too, right? If you look at SYSY's spot, you could Anomaly Alawi, just because you have her upgraded. She's a 2-star 4 cost. That's super powerful. And Bessa getting picked up from Pandora's bench. That could also be helpful. So yeah, I'm interested to see what it's going to be here.
I'm very interested to see what they'll pick up because dramatic entrance.
I think this could provide them a lot of utility, and on the Loris as well, you know, Loris is going to hop into the fight and start getting useful.
Yeah, I just want to also point out how much gold has been invested on that board. You had 2-star Vi, Mbessa 2, Alawi 2, right? Like, that's a lot of frontline. I think what they potentially were lacking is that damage, which I'm sure would come later with maybe a Caitlyn.
That's such a crazy noise. Rio is... Wow, nothing wasted on this Silco. I think that Silco is going to just be doing a ton of damage. I think this positioning in terms of the front line could be a little bit more optimized. At the very least, you could have this dummy taking some more of the heat. But this this matchup has to be pretty favorable, right? Going up against the other Black Rose player, I think that this is looking really good just because Vladimir's only 2-star.
Yeah, still 2-star, even though you did put the anomaly on him. Like we kind of like I wanted to see this matchup. It makes it paints a pretty clear picture on who's stronger. We got some Kog'Maw, which you know, we talked about this. It's one of the more stronger 3 costs in the current meta.
Yeah, and this lobby, I feel like, has a super interesting late game because a lot of the people who are loss streaking really picked it up and turned it around. Some of the people who are win streaking, like Boywife, had a lot of pieces that they could have put together to make a really powerful board. But at the end of the day, if half of the players in the lobby want to play Dr. Mundo, you might not be able to hit. And here, Rainy Day has this insane Garen itemization. But look at how contested this composition is. Isn't able to find the Silco 2 or the Garen 2 right now.
I also want to point out Rainy Day had went the same thing as Rio. So I wonder, does Rainy Day even find another Silco to finish this off? Because, you won't, like, there are some out of the pool now.
Yeah, this is tough. I mean, the itemization here is so strong.
As soon as I say something, I get corrected.
Hey, I'd rather see our players hit than not hit.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
I do want to see.
Absolutely.
I do want to see all the anomalies come through. But yeah, look at what Rogue Cat has done with this game. Really just tempoed so hard with the Automata, with the Kog'Maw, and now that you're on level 9, you have the opportunity to start playing around the the really powerful high end of this composition.
I would love to see a splash of a 6 cost here. Not sure if we'll get it, but like a girl can dream.
Yeah, a girl can dream. I mean, we are gonna fall off a little bit here at level 9, just because our units don't have the highest value. But yeah, if we get a Malzahar on this board, really gonna be insane. But in addition to that, if you find something, oh wow, that's a Jinx too. Oh, this board is strong.
I also want to point out that even if Rogue Cat does fall off, you have to remember over half the lobby now has a Tactician's Crown. So I'm pretty sure that they'll be fine once they hit that nice care package and then stabilize.
Yeah, actually, you're so right. And when they have such like an economic advantage over the rest of the lobby, I have the feeling that they'll be able to play. They'll be able to play like at least 1 6 cost on their final board, if not 2. And if they get an Automata spat, we know that's really good on Mel.
We have Fluid Phlegm fighting for their lives. Does outlast the Kog'Maw.
Yeah.
And wow, Rio's just outlasting them all.
Yeah, we can see how powerful these Silco boards are, winning a lot of rounds. Unfortunately, Katmar, our Vladimir player, out in 8th place. Were they the Vladimir player? I'm sorry if I've gotten mixed up.
Yes, they were. And let's not forget Pandora's Bench too. Late game, so much fun. You're waiting for that lottery to hit of like, can I get my 4 cost 3-star? So we'll have to keep a close eye. They're only on 1 life, so she's only on 1 life. So
yeah, that's tough. I don't think Celeste has enough 4 costs rolling in order to even hit the random Zoe 3, but it's just hard to see in that position. I think right now that's going to be a ghost fight. Boywife did manage to upgrade the rest of their board, and this Twitch is sitting in the corner scaling up, but not being able to auto attack when Victor has casted can be a huge problem for Twitch, who wants those Rageblade stacks to stack up, and taking splash damage from the Twisted Fate right now. But the Mundo is surviving for so long. The end game of this fight is going to be very close.
I want to say, like, TF is not ideally your late game carry. I would like to maybe see something a bit more, not necessarily better, but something better to slot into that. Because you do want to keep the Enforcer.
Yeah, I think Fluid Femme just got another Rebel spat. So that is going to be really powerful.
That's going to be exciting. That's going to be exciting.
And we know our players have the Tactician's Crown, right? So potentially being able to play 10 Rebel on level 9 here, if they've held the units that they're supposed to. And I'm trying to count to figure out whether it's all here, but I think it is.
I think it is too, and I believe you need. I was about to ask. Oh, never mind. Our questions have been answered. We get to see a prismatic trait on our first game of Holidaze. How exciting!
I mean, this is frustrating for the rest of our players to deal with. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's a lot of fun just to be able to play it yourself, because you see it on Carousel. You know, Fluid Fem was first pick, so nobody even got a chance to deny it from them. It was on their side of the carousel, and look, this is a very hard prismatic trait to beat.
Yeah, and you're going against one of the more stronger folks in the lobby. Oh my goodness, wow. What was that damage? Do you think we can real quickly pull that up? Off real? Oh.
The fight recap looks a little bit confusing.
Oh yeah, 4 stars. Oh my. Do you think they went out with Rebel 10? Is the question now. I think they do. Especially with that splash damage, right?
I mean, I'm not sure if... I think there's one more player with Pandora's Bench in the lobby.
Oh my... What is that damage?
I do think, you know, there's a pretty solid chance they win out. This setup is very strong. They are working on upgrading this Rumble as well. You know, Rumble already has a flamethrower, benefiting so much from the extra stats you get from the Rebel spat. I guess Victor is one thing that could harm this board a little bit, but look at how durable this Alawi is. Look at how safe Jinx is. I just don't know if there are a lot of comps in the game that are capable of dealing with both the raw stats of Rebel, as well as the occasional stunts and the attack speed boosts that you get throughout the fight.
Yeah, I would say maybe the closest thing could maybe be Enforcer, but you don't have 10 Enforcers, so...
That's true, though. I mean, it escapes me. I think it's SYSY who's playing around Enforcers, but there's totally a chance that they get to level 9 and there's an Enforcer emblem on the next carousel, and we're in business, right? And Enforcer 10 definitely wins out over just about everything in the game.
If I'm not mistaken, they did it get nerfed for taking emblems? They reverted that change? I think that's what happened.
Oh, it might have. So we'll see how that all shakes up.
I'm not even gonna lie, how banger would it be if we had 10 Enforcer versus 10 Rebel? That would be so exciting to watch.
It would absolutely be exciting to watch. You know, I think SYSY has done a pretty great job this game of figuring out how to play this composition from a spot where they don't have the most econ in the world, and they sort of have to count on playing what they hit. So they have been rocking this Vi, they have been rocking this Ambessa, and I think Vi was an odd item holder for a little while, just having an Infinity Edge, but really making this work at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, you know, you're also sitting on a Pandora's Bench, you have a Caitlyn pair. If you can somehow manage to win a couple rounds, you probably hit, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, Loris is doing his best Victor impression, jumping back onto the board and having this board-wide knockup. It's pretty good. It's basically a 6 cost. Caitlyn is doing a ton of work in this fight, and I hate to say it, you know, that sucks for Boywife, but at least they're top 4.
Did Boywife just hit... So they're 3 off Twitch 3, and they're sitting on 1 life, so with 0 gold, I may add. I don't think they hit, but...
No, that's not happening.
Sadly. Fluid Flame on a win streak. We're not surprised because of that 10 Rebel. I kind of called it a little bit in the beginning of the game, so I'm also excited to see that happily play out.
Yeah, I mean, I think what a lot of the end game is going to come down to is, you know, is SY going to be able to survive until this carousel? And if they survive until this carousel, they have a tiny chance of finding 10 Enforcer. And if That's if they have everything they need to be holding on their bench. But oh man, there's just no chance to beat this composition when you run up into it.
All right, so we're down. We're down. Okay, so Rio outlasts from 7th to 3rd. I think that is really respectable and should not be upset with yourself on doing that. Just because, and then you, okay, so you got the Caitlyn too. Now, do you think they get hit out at 19 health plus?
Oh, I think that they might have to kill a unit. That might be a tough ask, but it's not impossible. Yes. And I am curious to see what's going on in the head here, because maybe you're going for the Vi 3, and that has a chance of holding you over if you hit it, especially with the Quicksilver on her. But oh man,
you just stun everything. So okay. You killed Set. Kill Irelia.
I think SY is safe. I think SY makes it a carousel.
This board is so tough to beat.
Oh!
Wait, what?
That's a tough curse. I'm sorry.
Oh, I genuinely thought they were gonna get past that to the next carousel like you predicted, and we could have maybe seen 10 Enforcer there.
I thought so too, but Fluid Femme really did put on a masterclass as soon as, it just in law streaking in general. I think that they had the right pieces to go for what they needed to. When they saw that spat on the carousel, they formulated a game plan. And even though their early game wasn't the smoothest early game in the world, their late game was really calm and composed.
Yeah, and I want to also point out that we have to consider they came from 7th while contesting 8th place, and they got a Silco, I think Silco 2 before the anomaly, and then took that one. Nothing wasted. So I think they navigated that pretty well, considering, and like I said, nothing should be ashamed of coming 3rd from that spot. And let's be real, it's so hard to beat 10 Rebel at that stage, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, nobody should be ashamed for not being able to beat 10 Rebel in this particular game. I think that once you hit it and you realize there's not much you could have done about it, right? Just because it was on the carousel, Fluid Femme was first pick. It was on their side. Outplayed by Mordog, I guess. Like, there's nothing else you can do about it.
Mordog. Let's talk about that real quick again about the Vlad. If you don't hit it right away, you're just basically dead in the water. What could be like pointers that you can give to help trying to find that Vlad a little quicker?
I mean, I do think that it was Katmar who was playing around Vlad. I think that they did end up going to level 7. Maybe that's because they hit a Black Rose unit, or because they wanted access to 4 and 5 costs. And it is true that they hit the LeBlanc. But you do have to just generate a tiny bit more econ. You might have to generate a tiny bit more value in the earlier stages of the game in order to be able to hit that Vlad 3. And for me personally, I'm not sure what the best version of that composition is, whether you are supposed to be playing more Watchers or you are supposed to be playing more Black Rose. But none of it works out if you don't hit the Vlad. And to me, it's just hard sometimes to justify taking the hero augment onto one when you don't already have a few of them, and it can be a lot easier to play a hero augment from a win streak position than from a lose streak position, because from a win streak position, at the very least, you know that you're going to be able to have some time to reroll because you create an HP buffer for yourself.
Right. And then to add, we quickly touch on second place. We had 8 Enforcer. They were running TF for a while. I don't think TF would have been the most optimal thing to play as a carry. Later they switched into Caitlyn, which I did like point that out. What other units do you think could have been better than playing TF? Maybe the Kog'Maw, maybe what else? Maybe Twitch, even though he's 4 costs, but he's a sniper, right? And he could have helped Maddie out, for example.
Yeah, I mean, just based on the items that they slammed, I think that Twisted Fight might have to have been like it might have to be the unit that you do play around because you want to stack units. You want to stack your items on an enforcer unit when you do have that +1 enforcer. When you are playing that vertical, I feel like you want to make as much use of the damage amp, as much use of the attack speed as you get from that trait. But it's tough, right? Twisted Fate's not the most compelling unit in the game, and I think they made it work when they were able to find Mbessa, when they were able to find Vi. I just don't really know if there's a better carry in that spot, right? I know that I believe it was when Basso and Mini were in Macau. I feel like it was either Basso skills or Minhee that was described as just like a natural Caitlyn hitter in terms of playing enforcers. And sometimes when you are playing enforcers, you just have to believe that you're going to hit Caitlyn. And at the end of the day, SYSY did end up hitting Caitlyn, but it took them a little bit longer than you would have otherwise wanted to because you didn't hit it immediately on level 8. You just went to level 9 and hit it, as a standard kind of tempo.
And with that, we finally have our standings. Shout out to Nemo, who has been, playing Gals tournaments since the revival. They came first, and then we also have Solidity, and I'm not sure if I recognize that name, but obviously now I do. Is there some players that you're surprised about, or that are like we have Coralie hitting 5 points, Boy Wife 5. Anything to say?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say that we know that Coralie started off Gals Giving with an 8th place, and went all the way to the final lobby. Ultimately, ended up taking something like 3rd place. We know that she has that competitive DNA in her to bounce back, even if you start with a bad placement. And starting off with a 4th is not a terrible placement, anyways. But you do want to place maybe in between 3rd and 4th, in between 2nd and 3rd, if you want to make the final lobby today. So that is going to be part of the consideration here.
And with that too, we can actually pull up. Oh, we already got the lobbies. Okay, let's do this. What do you have here? Real quick. I want to see the top 2 or top 3 in the same lobby, but I know I'm not in control of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure exactly how the lobbies are going to be reseeded here. It might not be possible to see the top 3 in the same lobby up until the finals, but at the very least, we'll be getting a finals jam-packed with all of the stars here. I think that, based on these reseeds, maybe it's not exactly by a snake seeding, maybe it's not exactly by points that they've earned, but no, this is going to shape up to be pretty interesting. Hopefully, we get lobby B and we get to see Laura play, because I think that'd be great for her to be just in the mix.
I would like to see. By the way, I would like to see Celeste pull back from the low roll that they did have. We know they hit reinforcement last game, and I think they are a great player to bounce back, have a game plan, execute that game plan. So we shall definitely see.
Yeah.
I would love to see Laura too. However, I know she's not totally in it. She is my duo partner, one of my duo partners after all. She's so maybe more of a duo player. I'm calling her out a little bit. I'm sorry, Laura. Don't hate me. It'd be exciting to see that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think the funniest part about playing double up mostly, and then you go back into normal TFT, is that you're just like, oh man, nobody can send me anything. I don't get any extra rewards for having a teammate. That sucks. But at the very least, yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say, it feels. Have you ever played badminton before? You're either a singles or doubles player, and I feel like in TFT, you're either a really good double up player or you're a really good solo player. I mean, I'm probably flaming some of the solo players. I'm sorry, but that's how I look at it. I'm a better double up player than I am a solo player, I think.
Yeah, I mean, just don't tell Jukyu, who has been to Worlds and is consistently rank 1 over infinite placements in double up. But hey, I mean, you do what you want to do. Like,
I
that guy
believe
plays a lot of double up.
I believe he had over 1,000 LP at one point.
Yeah.
I may or may have not run into him a couple times on my climb, which was very interesting, I will say.
Yeah, I mean, when you consider the future of TFT, there might be a lot more team competition. So I feel like starting to play double up or starting to play a 4v4 format can be really, really beneficial to, get ahead of where TFT is at right now. And I feel like that could be a lot of fun. But double up is also just a really great format to get people into the game, right? Because it's a little bit easier to backseat. It's a little bit easier to talk through a spot and like pick someone's brain. And I feel like if you're both on a similar level, you might end up learning something. If you're on different levels, then you are able to, transfer a little bit of information. And at the end of the day, you have the shared HP pool, so there's really no toxicity towards your teammate. I feel like you got to work together.
Yeah, absolutely. And luckily, I have another duo. I have two duos. Okay, I have Laura and my significant other. So they take my endless yapping pretty well. So I'm quickly going over the other lobbies that had before we jump into game. We had I'm taking a look at the other lobbies that had finished. First place, I believe in lobby A, also had a rebel board, and second place was Kog'Maw. This rebel comp is definitely showing up a lot more than I actually thought it wouldn't have. I think maybe in a tournament setting, like playing that could help out a lot. And then I believe that this was, hang on a second, it was seven rebel. Okay, so not quite 10, but you get that stun, right? So in a late game, it just helps you win out.
Yeah, I mean, with the +1 that you get, or that Fluid Femme had in our previous game, before they were able to hit the second emblem off Carousel, I feel like having +1 to Rebel is already very strong. But I would also say that when I watch people play this composition, it really just seems like you're able to go from strength to strength, because there's a way for you to slam items such that you get power on Ezreal, maybe you get mana, maybe you get AD, and then you pivot mana over to Zoe, and Zoe can also hold attack speed items. Then later on in the game, you're eventually able to pivot those items to Jinx and maybe even Corki or other late game units, right? So I feel like you are almost always strong if you know how to play that composition to its utmost potential.
And with that, we're jumping in. I believe this is lobby C.
Yeah, this is going to be lobby C. We got a little peek backstage. Laura said she's shy, so we're not going to be getting lobby B this time. That's all right. We are getting lobby C, which we are excited for. And you said you wanted to see Celeste Dragoness bounce back. She has an opportunity to do so here.
I do. I wonder if Rainy Day is gonna go Enforcer Conquer, because I also know that has been a thing. Not that I just as a Conquer one trick, okay, that's not what I would recommend, but you also have TF.
So you also have TF. This is good. This could be an Enforcer opener, but we'll see what Rainy Day goes for. We know that Rainy Day picked that Pandora's items last game. Not going to be going for it this game. We are going to have the Bruiser Crest. And, I mean, this is going to be a powerful opener if you're able to get as many Bruisers, or 4 Bruisers online as early as possible.
And with that, too, you have a Darius in shop. I feel like you pick up the pair. There, yeah, now we're cooking.
Now we are cooking. And, having the Rage Blade to slam, I think that they are going to be going for, that Twitch gameplay that we saw from Boywife last game as well.
We also have a Duchess of Deer starting with a Maddie, having an IE and sword. As much as I don't like Maddie as a character, I do think this is strong early game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody likes Maddie the character. I just want to say that I was a Maddie hater from the beginning. I was a Maddie hater from the first time we saw her. The first time. Not even before she had a relationship with Caitlyn. On the street, recruiting Vi. I did not like her.
When she said that she's one of the good ones, I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah, it's a
what?
little suspicious, huh?
Yes. Spoiler alert, kind of. Sorry, but Arcane's been out for now 6 weeks. If you haven't watched it, it's your own fault.
That's what I'm saying. You know, Palzahar, who's one of my friends, runs another tournament for marginalized genders. I feel like I saw her comment on TikTok on an Arcane related post, spoilers, like a week ago. And I'm just like, come on! Watch the show!
It's your own fault.
Like at this point, you cannot blame the people posting the spoilers. You have to blame yourself.
I definitely, when Arcane did drop, I'm like, I'm not waiting for the morning to watch this. I'm sure Twitter will be all over it. I'm just gonna watch it straight out at 3 a.m. Who cares? Nothing's gonna stop me. So we have a pit fighter. We have a pit fire emblem. What else? We have patient study. I believe that's patient study.
Yeah. Wow. This could be a really powerful pit fighter game. I think that, you know, Nemo still has the opportunity to play around Violet here, and we are holding the family units in light of that. But at the same time, we could just be going towards that vertical because we already have upgraded this Urgot, and there is also potential to play this sort of funny little meme Urgot composition where you feed set to him, and that could also be really fun to play here.
This Draven is definitely pumping out damage, though.
Oh yeah, tough to deal with. You know, I think that if Rainy Day is winning these rounds before they've gotten the 4 bruiser synergy online, just because of the power of the front line and because of the combination of these items on Draven, then I feel like things are really going to start working out for them once they do hit 4 bruiser, once they do have all that extra time to scale up the Rage Blade. And, you know, you don't have to stay in Conqueror here. You can definitely play Twitch, and you'll still get the benefit of having won all your fights with a Conqueror carry the entire game.
Yeah. Personally, when I play Conqueror, I either go the reroll route with Darius and Draven. If I'm being contested, I'll just say, screw it, play tempo, and then I'll just play Mordekaiser. He bonks them late game anyway.
Yeah, bonking is bonking. Game is game. Saladity. We'll figure it out over the course of the game. This seems to be a really powerful opener with this Rage Blade, Jeweled Gauntlet on the Nami. I feel like this is going to be a lot of scaling power for your early game, and I think this goes well into Rebels with Zoe later on.
What's the augment again? It's some AP related too, so that's really strong as well.
I think this one is basically just you have my rod, except I don't know. Oh no. Yeah, Crown's Will. Okay, sorry. I know they used to be called "You Have My Sword, You Have My Bow," and there was a joke that they couldn't name it "You Have My Rod," but like Crown's Will is now what it's called, and it does give you the extra armor, so the extra durability is going to be a factor in this early game.
And wow, Draven is just pumping out damage. You got 17 stacks. Like you're pretty much good to go.
Yeah, can we take a peek at Celeste here so that we can see the state of the win streakers? Because there are 3 people still at 100 HP, almost guaranteed or guaranteed that at least 2 of them are going to fight.
I did say I wanted to see Celeste have a bounce back game. I think the perfect thing for her to play would be Kog'Maw. And to have a Zeke on the back line too. Mwah!
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think Celeste is going to be getting the better of the Priestess. The Dragoness getting the better of the Priestess in this particular matchup. Just because of the level difference, because this front line's pretty strong. Kog'Maw scaling up with the Archangel, but look at what's gone on here. The Nocturne found his way onto the Kog'Maw, and maybe I've cast your curse.
Caster curse. Oh my goodness,
Okay,
this
it's
is.
Nocturne 1.
Oh my god.
Nocturne 1, not a big deal. We're going to be able to see Rainy Day continue their win streak as well with the Draven. Saladity, going to be going down here. And, being the odd one out of the 3 win streakers sucks, right? Because you know that the other person got a free matchup and you didn't, so what kind of injustice is this? But anyways,
I,
we've still got 2 win streakers going into the neutrals here. And that means that, we could see at least one of them level up to level 6 to try to take the edge over the other.
I also feel with win streaking, you feel like you brought it up, you feel left out, but there's also a disparity, right? You have the bottom part of the ladder on a lose streak, and then everyone else is on a win streak, and you're in the middle. You don't have a streak, so it could affect you later on, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's not like the biggest deal in the world, but we are going to see Celeste level up to 6, and I think Rainy Day might just do so as well. I'd be interested to see the way that it plays out. We know that Infinity Edge it's not like the best item on Draven ever, but it is going to be a fight between 2 backline scalers, and that is, at the very least to me, that's compelling gameplay, because scaling backliners are fun.
I did actually also hear whispers in the wind that Ziggs was pretty good too. So I wonder if this is a reroll Ziggs.
I'm going to say I doubt it, just because Hula Hooper does have patient study. But I would say her spot is going to start turning around here. We know that she lost at least part of the rounds in stage 2, but with that patient study, she's really healthily on level 6 now, has a lot of econ to work with, and continuing to get more from patient studies, so it's a good spot. Now we have another gold augment for our second augment, and I feel like what this could bring is if some of these players are playing 2-cost reroll, they could be going for Starry Night. Here it looks like Celeste is going to be playing more so around Kog'Maw, so she's going to be taking that heroic grab bag and just going to be using those on Kog'Maw later on.
I honestly think that is the correct play, just because, you did have a bad game 1. I think you need to even pull out, not necessarily a first, but like a second even, right? Because the cutoff is a little bit more aggressive this tournament.
Yeah, I would say
I
that
believe.
is something that Celeste has to think about. Some would say that, if you're in that position, you might not want to take heroic grab bag because you're taking combat power away from yourself, and that means that you might ultimately, not cap out as high. But I think for Celeste, if you're comfortable doing it, you should definitely go for it. I've seen people win out with heroic grab bag before, and what I would say is that if Celeste is able to use some of those lesser champion duplicators in the mid game, that could make a difference, but it didn't. Rainy Day is going to continue their win streak. Celeste, unfortunately, her win streak has ended.
It's not the end of the world. I still think that she's really strong. She will scale with that Kog'Maw. But Rainy Day continuing dominance.
Yeah, really, really far from the end of the game for Celeste. But yeah, Rainy Day is in a similar position to the position that we saw Boy Wife in last game. I will point out though that Blazing Soul is an augment that is really at its best when you play it in an AP composition, when the units benefit both from both of the stats that you get out of this augment. And I feel like when you are playing Twitch, a lot of the units on your board are only benefiting from 1 out of the 2. Twitch is only benefiting from 1 out of the 2. Mundo, only 1 out of the 2. And Violet has found her way onto Draven! So there have been a lot of wraps this game, and I think that depending on how much damage this Violet does, this could be the end of Rainy Day's win streak as well.
And you know what? The thing I was about to say is I really did like what Rainy Day was doing. She did splash in some Conquer with Brawler to get that miss.
Yeah, I agree. This is a spot that looks pretty solid. Like, it's the right way to play from your early game to your late game, right? But man, the frontline positioning really breaks my heart because Steb was over on the other side, and that meant that Draven was a little bit unprotected. If Steb had lasted just a little bit longer, if Steb was in the right position, I think Rainy Day would have had a lot more staying power in that fight. And unfortunately, Rainy Day also had Elise yoinked away from her, and that's a tough carousel to see. Oh, there's a Twitch. No, that's not bad. Yeah, I mean, I think that Rainy Day can totally be justified in rolling a little bit here. We saw Boy Wife make a similar play in the previous game, and there's just so much benefit that you can roll for because you are able to get 6 Bruiser if you roll a little bit deeper. You are able to get a Sniper online for this Twitch, but, you know, it's totally fine to take a chill pill here, and over on the other side, you can see Laconic Priestess has started to play this Nocturne, started re-rolling for it, with too much value as well. So that's going to be a lot of power, both in terms of econ with these three, with this augment and all the 2 costs you get to play on your board, as well as the 3 items on this Nocturne.
I am terribly sorry. I am lagging. I think I'm in the middle of a snowstorm now. It's weather dependent. Not my fault. Looks like Rainy Day is just having their way with this game. I wish I had games like Rainy Day all the time.
Yeah, I mean, Rainy Day is certainly making the most of their position, and that's really what you got to do. I would say Saladity is going to be angling a little bit closer to the Rebels now, but we might take a brief stop, a pit stop in Heimerdinger Town, where I think Heimerdinger could be a better item holder than Nami, and then Heimerdinger is probably a worse item holder than Zoe. So this might be the right stop to make, but I am concerned there is no Visionary on this board, so Heimer isn't terribly strong either. Wait, actually, Vex should go on the board. It's Rebel. She's Rebel, and she's... Oh, Saladity. VOD review the game and put Vex on the board. Yeah, I mean, I think as long as Employer is going to be lagging, I am going to be casting. So, Saladity is going to claim revenge over Rainy Day and take the victory at the end of Stage 3 after losing to Rainy Day at the end of Stage 2. And I think Salad might just have as good of a spot as Rainy Day heading into Stage 4. It looks like they have comparable econ to one another. So, at the same time, we have Laconic Priestess, who's going to be rerolling for this Nocturne and has already found a lot of these Nocturnes. I think that is a really advantageous position to be in when it comes to this reroll composition. And when you are rerolling this comp, you are able to pick up extra Kog'Maws, extra Amumus as well, and that means that you do get to soft contest the other Automata player, the Kog'Maw reroller, that would be Celeste Dragoness. And I think that in terms of what that all does, I feel like that puts Laconic Priestess up ahead, but Celeste just hit Kog'Maw 3 over in the corner there, and I think that is going to make a difference starting from now. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, this is really early to hit the Kog'Maw 3, and I think that without having many scars, you might be justified in going to level 8, playing either 6 Watcher or playing around 4 Automata. That could be very powerful. But this Kog'Maw, I want to point out, this Kog'Maw doesn't have a lot of sustain, and that could be a problem when it comes to winning at the very end of a fight. But look, Kog'Maw was able to close in that one, and that's going to be a big deal. And I'm also interested to see what Mizuki is going to be doing with this game as well, because Mizuki has the opportunity to play around the Ezreal, but no, we've got our third augment. Let's get back onto business. I'm not sure exactly who we're looking at. This is going to be Rainy Day, so I think there's a lot of power here. Piercing Lotus can be very, very beneficial if you don't already have Shred for this Twitch composition. It is going to apply very well over the entire board, but look at what Rainy Day has done. They said, I know we have an advantage right now, what to do, we're going to take malicious monetization and we're going to turn all of the units that we kill over the next 3 rounds into money for us to get to level 9. We might be able to play a Warwick, we might be able to play a Victor or a Mel on this final Twitch board if we are able to get all of the econ in the world, and we might just get all of the econ in the world. That's a lot of Bramble Vests.
Okay.
It looks like
think I'm
the
back.
AG players... Oh, hey, Burglar. You can start talking now.
I'm so sorry.
I got tired.
I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm not trying to give up on you. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's weather, but I'm doing my best under the lagging pretenses. I did notice, by the way, Rainy Day did have the option of mutation. Mutation survives, which I thought they were gonna go for, but
yeah, I mean, I would just say that, like, when you aren't playing that many experiment units, it's harder to justify taking the mutation survives. I feel like if you are just gonna be putting the Nunu in the extra hex, you're not getting that much value on Twitch and Dr. Mundo. But there are other spots where it can be more powerful. I just feel like it's not this particular spot.
So you have the automata. Do you go for 6 automata? Now that you have the spat. You do have to hit mouse, right?
Yeah, it's tough to say. You are going to have to hit the Malzahar. And in this particular spot, you know, it can be tough to decide whether you are going to be playing around rolling for this Akali or leveling up. And you are also going to have to get this Nocturne to do a lot of work because, you know, I feel like this Nocturne unit is really much more powerful when you have one of the artifacts that you need on him. But he's just not... Oh my god, that's a lot of money for monetization.
Wow. Okay. 6 automata? You got the Malzahar on Carousel and they take it. So I don't think they'll be... I believe
no. The Laconic Priestess is the dragon, is the automata player.
Okay, so I'm mistaken. I'm sorry. You will hit 6 automata, and Mort Dog blessed you. Even though you are on the bottom half of the ladder.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen players get blessed by Mortog here before. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Happy for Laconic Priestess, who got the thing that they needed to turn the game around. I think Rainy Day is about to go to level 9, which is... we saw them pumping levels. But yeah, I mean, 6 Automata here on level up for Laconic Priestess is going to be really strong. Rainy Day is not going to level 9. Rainy Day is simply going to keep that gold for the anomaly, and I think that makes a lot of sense.
I do too. And plus, like, you want to have as much gold as possible going into level 9 to hit those whatever units you are looking for, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Man, I just want to see Laconic Priestess turn this around. I feel like the 6 Automata really has a chance to do it. We put the Automata spat onto the Rumble, and that seems to be doing a little bit more. Rel is flexing in for both Visionary and Sentinel. I think that is a wonderful pickup when you do have the Rumble on your board. But man, it could be tough to make it all work because I feel like Laconic Priestess doesn't have a lot of gold, and she's gonna need to find a good anomaly with not that many resources.
Sometimes, and I know this is crazy of me, but sometimes I just click depending on what the anomaly is, I'll just click the first one because it doesn't sound that bad.
Ooh, Victor is on offer here, but look at the position that we're in. I don't know if Victor really... No, Victor has to go on the board, right? Maybe Victor over Rumble here. That could make a big difference because we don't have any shred for our Nocturne, and we know for a fact that I think Mizuki is the Academy player, and I saw Laconic Priestess match up into the Academy player before. That's 3 Bramble Vests. I think in that matchup, you really want to have Victor shred.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how Automata would be on Victor, but hey, man, for science, let's see it.
I mean, it can't be terrible. It's AP. That's not so bad. If you got some attack speed on Victor, that's basically... Yeah, it could be worse. I know it's really good on Mel. So maybe Laconic Priestess really wanted to find the Mel. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
So Celeste did hit Cog 3. They are on a 2 streak. They have Zeke's. What do you think? Do you think this is a top 4 angle for her, or?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the matchups, I think she does have a pretty favorable matchup. For example, in this one, just because of the way that the Academy items have worked out, Mizuki doesn't stand a very strong chance against the players who are AP, because all of her frontline power is just indexed in those 3 Bramble Vests, and that's not enough to work with. And unfortunately, she doesn't have very powerful Heimerdinger items as well. So I feel like she's kind of capped herself. And if you look at some of the other players, I think they're also struggling a little bit to put together the strongest boards in the face of all of the opposition. For example, Rainy Day is going straight to level 9, and she's still able to win a ton of rounds up until this point. So I think that, yeah, it could definitely be a top 4 for Celeste, but we know that Celeste needs more than just a top 4, wants to get into the top 2 if she wants to continue onto the finals here.
Just gonna point out, we did have an 8th finish at Duchess of Deer. I'm not sure what they were playing, but I just want to point that out, that the lobbies are starting to heat up a little. Like the hell is going to be a bit more, non-forgiving.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand the frustration. I don't know if Duchess of Deer forfeited just because they lost and they wanted to get out of a cutscene, maybe, or they lost, like they just felt like they couldn't get. She just felt like she couldn't get any better replacement. But yeah, I can understand being frustrated in that position, and hopefully she comes back and plays out the 3rd game, or plays out the 3rd game into the 4th game. You never know what could happen, and I'm not familiar with her scores, so it's still possible.
I just want to point out, we finally see a reroll family comp. However, Rainy Day is so far ahead that at level 9 that I don't think family reroll has a chance now.
Oh, Salad hit Jinx on the final roll at level 9, is able to sell the Elise, and
I honestly...
Oh, there's just one slot. You just need to play the copy right now.
Okay, so double Rage Blade, dual Gauntlet, pretty favorable matchup, I would say.
Yeah, I think Jinx is going to do really well into a board like Mizuki's here, and you do have Paint the Town Blue, so even though your frontline isn't upgraded, you are getting a lot of replacement frontline from all of these Rebel units hopping back onto the board.
Wow, this Zoe's just pumping damage.
Oh yeah. She's like abnormally strong with these Rage Blades. I feel like it's a little bit unintuitive to me, but like I've seen Rage Blade Zoe just do so much work, and when you see that slam at the start of the game, I feel like you are pretty confident that players are going to be going towards either the Twitch or the Zoe. In this case, it's the Zoe.
We also see something similar to first game. We have Silco on... Is that it? It's an energy absorption, I think? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every single unit on this board has a lot of ability power. In particular, you would point that out for the Dominator frontliners, like Blitzcrank and like Dr. Mundo. So I think that this anomaly makes a ton of sense. And I'm curious to see what the rest of the lobby has picked for anomalies as well. Celeste, it looks like Scar is the one with the anomaly, and Celeste has actually been putting on a really strong win streak. So getting all of that extra damage amplification from the Sniper's Nest really hasn't had to change her positioning as far as we're concerned with that, and is putting a lot of hurt on the rest of the lobby. Maybe she is gonna have to run into Rainy Day here, who has that powerful Twitch board. Maybe she's gonna have to run into some 6 costs, and that could turn things, the other way. But
oh my god! Wait, know. Are we gonna see 7 family? I think we might see 7. I think we might. Or is it 6? I'm not sure. I was about to point out when when you're playing reroll family, you want to hit those units faster than perhaps what player has said that, what Nemo has done, because you know, the lobby's gonna continue accelerating at the tempo that they're going, and then it'll outlast family. So you need to hit that sooner so you can, you know, survive.
Yes, I'm totally with you there. I think that, wow, Laconic Priestess was able to find another Automata spat, but I feel like she doesn't have enough gold to make use of the extra slot that has offered her. So it could still be a tough few rounds, despite being able to upgrade another 2 Automata. Nemo could have a tough matchup into this Power Absorption Silco as well. Just does so much damage if he's able to pump. But, you know, Violet already in the backline.
Okay, so my mistake, I thought it was 7 family. It's actually 5 family, and 5 family seems to be
Okay.
just good for Nemo.
5 family is excellent, and I think that the most important thing at this point is for Nemo to win rounds, because if Nemo is able to win enough rounds, that makes a huge difference when you get the 5 family cash outs.
So Celeste did drop a round. I still think they're in a good position to top 2.
Yeah, totally. I think that she's gotten a little bit of an HP advantage over the rest of the lobby. And right now, if she's not the strongest player in the lobby, she could potentially count on someone like Rainy Day to start killing off other players for her. And that is one of the ways you can win out here. I'm interested to see who wins in this matchup, the Automata versus the Family. These are 2 powerful reroll compositions in the current meta, but look at how much damage has found its way onto the Nocturne at the early stages of this fight. It's over way faster than you would imagine, and Laconic Priestess, I think, is going to be going out in 6th place here. That's tough to see.
So Celeste and Rainy Days are duking it out. Is Celeste winning this? I think they're winning this.
Wow! Come on.
Man, wow!
And look, actually, Celeste was able to find a Gunblade for the Kog'Maw, so she was able to pivot the Static Shiv off with the remover, and that's going to make a difference at the end of these fights, or throughout the fight, because you're able to heal up the Scar, who has the Anomaly as well, and I do want to see what Anomaly it is on the Scar. Thorn Skin. So yeah, this is a tough Scar to crack.
Yeah, I was about to say that's like really good frontline. Rather than opting in for power for Kog'Maw, I think this was a correct and smart decision to give your frontline more so that your Kog'Maw can scale and potentially win the fight, right?
Yeah, I'm with you there. If you are a fan of sniper comps in general, I feel like you have the intuition that not only do you have to have a powerful backliner, but you have to be able to play the frontline to sustain that backliner. And it's true of Twitch, it's true of Kog'Maw. So both of those are excellent carries. You just have to be able to play around them front to back. And comps like Violet have the potential to usurp them if they're able to find their way to the backline, but Nemo's on the opposite side. I don't know if this Violet is going to have the chance to wrap. A ton of damage is going to come out from this Twitch board, and Mundo is going to survive a very long time in this front line.
I don't think they win, just simply because of, again, you hit the family units late. Rainy Day is, you know, it's either between Celeste and Rainy Days who's final lost this lobby.
Well, it looks like Salad did take the victory over Celeste, and that's big, right? We know that Salad can win this matchup, and the Jinx 2 has... I think that this board actually has all the tools you need in order to win out the game. So it just comes down to positioning, it comes down to what's on the carousel, it comes down to whether these players have a 6 cost that they can slot in.
I also want to point out, I did see Touch of Frost on Zoe, and with her ability being able to bounce to, you know, certain champions, I think that does a lot more than what may think that is very little.
Yeah, I mean, this is a ton of utility coming out on this board, and when you are playing Rebels, you already have so much damage, right? That that can be valuable in itself. When Jinx ults, by the way, because she hits so much of the board with her third cast, Zoe is able to clean that up with her ultimate bouncing around from front line to back line. That's what you saw that fight. I think that Salad actually does, in fact, have like, a pretty favorable matchup into these two sniper players because of how much backline access these two backliners have.
Yeah, so I'm very curious on how this is going to play out because I think what we established was that Celeste had to come at least top 2 to have a chance. I'm not sure on the tournament format, but I think they still have the top 2 to even make it to the final, right, or the top 16. Like I'm not too familiar with it, so I would like to see how potentially these two players could bring down Solidarity.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have to be a certain effort, right? But at the same time, we can see the potential for Rainy Day to do it because if Salad continues to position Jinx and Zoe next to one another, that is really valuable for focus fire. But it's potentially dangerous as well because Twitch and Caitlyn could also focus fire her backline if the Caitlyn casts go a particular way. And here we see Rainy Day taking the victory over Celeste, but Celeste took the victory over Salad.
Okay, alright, so I think Celeste is okay. I do like the position diff that Rainy Day did was put the Mundo in front of the Kog'Maw because the Kog'Maw does not have a Giant Slayer. So how do you get through all that health, right?
Yeah, and Mundo's itemization is really just disturbing here. The Dragon's Claw does so much work in this position.
I'd also like to point out you got Bruiser's Crest, so he has just so much health that you can't shred because, again, no Giant Slayer.
Yeah, and look at this. We've got 6 cost incoming. The Warwick is waiting on the bench, waiting to be played. Is an experiment unit, so we could end up seeing something like 5 experiment come back onto the board, playing around that Warwick as a tertiary carry. But look, this roll down just a little bit disappointing.
No, but you're 3 off Caitlyn. I've had moments this set where I was close to hitting a 5 cost 3 star, and then the game ends, and I'm like really sad because I need to win, but it would have been cool to see that. So I totally understand the not necessarily frustration, but it's like you're so close.
Yeah, totally. I mean, hey, whatever. Rainy Day can sack a round or 2, right? If she doesn't win this round, just sack
For
one.
sure.
Sack 1, get Caitlyn 3. GG.
Dude, Celeste. Oh no, that's Rainy Day's Victor. Okay, well, I'd be chilling, trying to hit this Caitlyn 3, unless Celeste wants to play. Like let's not give her. I don't. There's a term for it, but it's not on the top of my head. Or spoiler. That's it. Spoiler.
Yeah, I mean, like, hey, you're rolling down. I would like to see the Caitlyn 3. I don't think she's one that I've seen before, but Rainy Day did get stronger, in my opinion. Playing this Warwick on top of the board is going to be having the value of that execute. That might be enough to win this fight.
You're also sitting on 5 experiment too, right? Which enhances those abilities that each experiment has.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Rainy Days continues some dominance. I'm pretty sure they, if I recall correctly. Okay, so Celeste is like, no, this game is not over yet. I'm coming for first. I need to fight for my tournament life. Keep in mind, Rainy Day is still on 3 more Caitlyn's. Celeste, I know, but please don't play spoiler. I would love to see Caitlyn 3 just for tournament sake. It'd be cool.
Yeah, I took a look at the standings. I think Rainy Day only got a 5th place in her first game. So taking the first here
Maybe
would mean a
okay,
lot.
maybe
So
I missed it.
I think
Mistook.
yeah, I mean I think both of our players here have very good reasons to want to win. Whatever Rainy Day does though, she's gonna have to do it quickly. Because this roll down can be a little bit difficult. If Caitlyn 3 is going to be the win condition you're going for, but you're putting items on the Elise right now, let's start to make a move. There's one.
No! Two!
There's two! Oh, go faster!
Please!
No!
No! Dude, you know what? Celeste is a great sport. They didn't play spoiler. It's just the unfortunate case of Rainy Day not hitting.
I mean, at this point, I'm gonna be honest. I would sell board. You lost 2 rounds in a row. Oh, but Warwick's on Kog'Maw.
Yeah,
Whatever. You're not selling board. But like, come on. It would have been fun to sell board. It would have been fun to see all the decisions being made in time to finally pick up the Caitlyn 3.
But
Rainy Day
respect.
did an excellent job closing out that game. And building up a points advantage that could take them into the finals here. Celeste got the top 2. I don't know, again, I'm not sure if that's exactly what she needs in order to have a chance for the finals. It's definitely going to come down to the 3rd game. But, those 2 games took a little bit out of me. Particularly casting solo. I'm sorry the weather is acting up for you and Burglar, but I'm gonna need to send it to a break because I need to get some water. Please stick around for games 3 and 4. The finals are coming up not too far away, and stay tuned for more Holidaze.
with that, we are back to take a look at the standings. We have finished 2 games, and we had talked about like what the implications of the last game that we were watching. We needed to see Celeste and Rainy Day do well, and with that, I think if I'm not mistaken, these are the updated standings, if I'm correct. And with that, we see Celeste and Rainy Day get in after coming first and second, where Celeste finished 7th and Rainy Day had came 5th, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken about that. It doesn't matter though. They are in the top 16. We're soon go to game 3. We'll see who's going to be playing in the top 8. Honestly, this could be anyone's game, right? There isn't.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a huge difference between 15 to 6, but between 15 to 9, even, and like I said, anyone's game.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that Celeste from Celeste and upwards, those are the players that I think are on the bubble to make the finals. I would say that you really want to see a great performance if you are at 9 points and you want to get up to, I would say, above 15. Or maybe, yeah, actually, it would probably be above like 16 or 17. So you really want to go first if you're in that position. But on the other hand, at the top of the standings, we have Fluid Femme, we have Alice. We haven't gotten to see Alice play as far as I know, but we know that Fluid Femme hit that 10 Rebel composition in game 1, and it looks like they were able to do a lot of work in game 2 as well, coming in 2nd place. And Alice, behind the scenes, Alice has been doing really well on their own, getting the same scores in the lobbies that they got to play in. Yeah, so now we have our lobbies for the upcoming game. Lobby A is going to be Alice, Hula Hooper, Laura. Ooh, maybe we will get to see both Alice and Laura in the 3rd game. Is that going to be possible? Who knows?
I wonder if Laura is gonna tell us no. Which, you know what? In our spectating fairness, it would be nice to see Alice, because Alice has been doing damage, which we hadn't even seen. So just putting that out there. Invective is correct. I also want to see the Rainy Day in that lobby too, because I want to see them come off that first, and wonder if they continue rolling that with that snowball. I'll call it snowball for Holidaze. Anyway, we have Celeste, and we haven't seen Coralie play, even though they're in the top 16, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then in Lobby C with Nemo, Boy Wife, I also want to see Laconic Priestess maybe bring it back a bit. But yeah, fun lobbies, a lot of implications, a lot of storylines I'd love to see.
Yeah, I think there is going to be a lot going on in this final game. I'm excited to see it. And it's a tough cut to go to just take the top 1/3 of players, but it's a community tournament. If you finish early, you finish early. It is what it is. Yeah, I think that as we head into our final game, or as we head into our 3rd game, not our final game, we gotta say, thanks again to everybody who's playing. Like, I think that this is something really nice to do a few days ahead of Christmas, and a few days heading into, when everybody's going to start taking their vacation, or is going to be on vacation from school or whatever. And it's really nice to have, like I said earlier, a tournament like this where you get to spend time doing something you like with people you're connected to, and just having a good time.
Yeah, and also a reminder, like, just because sometimes holidays can be lonely, you can have the community, have some fun, like playing some games. I'm pretty sure people will be open to playing some TFT. This is a pretty fun set so far. From my personal opinion, I really enjoyed this one. This one's been fun in the last maybe 3 for me. So definitely open to playing some games. And yeah. Real quick, I want to quickly take a look because of the bracket results. I want to see what Alice has been playing in the last 2 games. So I've noticed that she played Kog'Maw reroll with Radiant Rage Blade, Gambler's Blade, and Hexagon Blade. I feel like that Kog'Maw would have done a lot. They were basically playing the same thing as Celeste, but sorry.
Oh, Victor. Oh, that's interesting.
This one is
Six-cost
so much
game.
fun. It's so much fun. You do get to see the 6 costs way earlier. It's so much fun. You can hit 6 costs before Anomaly. Just putting that out there. And the reason why I know is because I got to win out a game illegally to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it makes a lot of sense that you could win out with a 6 cost that has an anomaly on it. It just... one thing that I would say is that maybe this makes reroll a little bit harder to play, right? Because you don't want to have your reroll right before the anomalies start being available in everybody's shop. And you might want to be higher level right before the 6 costs start to be available in everybody's shop. And you would also want to be high enough level that you have an open slot to play an anomaly, or that you have better odds to play a 6 cost. I don't know why I keep on saying play an anomaly. But yeah, I think you get what I mean.
Totally okay. If in this particular encounter, I feel like reroll could be risky to play just because you can hit those anomalies. Or sorry, now you're giving me that. You can hit those 6 costs early. And then what were you rolling for, right?
Yeah, I think I'm lagging a little bit, so you take it away, Em.
Okay. So we're starting off with a little slash of rebel. We may go into. Okay, we have Violet. So I wonder if this stems into a Conqueror or Pit Fighter. Ooh, Experiment Crest. Knowing that you could hit the Warwick early. I wonder if you just go for it, right? 2 Trick definitely helps, I think, with tempo. Not sure if I would personally go for it, but yeah.
Yeah,
That Experiment Crest, yeah.
Oh,
Let's go.
Ripping it. Yeah, I believe in that.
Yep. And to be fair, I think Rainy Day is in a okay spot on the standings, so yeah, I think it's worth the risk.
Yeah, I mean, Rainy Day is going to have to go top 4 here, maybe top 3 in order to make the finals. Maybe even a top 2. Who knows? But I mean, this is a powerful opener. Being able to duplicate units this early on into the game is just going to add a significant amount of board power. I think an early, like look at these guys pop out. It's a 6v3. That's just not fair.
Is that scrap or scoreboard scrap? I can't tell what the augment is.
No, I think that's the augment that gives you a red buff and it causes your burns to do more damage.
Oh, Pyromaniac.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about that one, but because I think I've played it once. It was okay. There's definitely other augments that I like, but I didn't. The Clutter Mind, I think I'm okay with this just because, like, you are stacking the XP onto yourself. Remember, the faster you get to 8, your higher odd chances of a level 6 or a 6 cost. Yes, it is. Sorry, are you sure? Sorry. Someone's bothering me who's also a TFT player.
No, don't worry about it. I can start talking again. I think my lag has gotten better. We finally have a chance to see Laura in the game, rocking the Hundun. Glad to see her playing with us.
Oh wait,
here
we
today.
do! Let's go, Laura!
But I think Laura's going to be losing the round, so that's a little bit more frustrating.
Honestly, I think Laura's been one-tricking Kem Baron this entire tournament. I
Let's
think
go.
She's totally okay with that. I think she's okay with that.
And Kem Baron's a lot of fun. Can't blame her.
Me, personally, I can't handle the stress of Kem Baron. I feel like if I'm inting all my health and I can't cash out, that what was the point?
Yeah, I can see it, but I think that, you know, it takes a certain kind of player to be really comfortable with Kem Baron, and I feel like if you are comfortable with Kem Baron, you can really make some wonders happen. So I hope Laura is having fun, and I also hope that she makes it work. We have a lot of players, I think, who have the opportunity to play around Twitch and Warwick this game. Alice has also slammed a Rageblade, so we know that there is a Pyromaniac player with Rageblade red buff, there is a player with an Experiment Spat, and there's Alice. Alice, by the way, has Spoils of War, so really wants to push the tempo quite hard, and it looks like even though she lost the last round, she's going to have an opportunity to start winning again.
I do like this. I like the tempo pushing. Personally, I love Spoils of War. This makes the most sense considering what kind of encounter this is. So you have the chance to roll down and hit those units. Oh, and Laura's going for Rennie. She's definitely running it down. No, I'm joking. I love Laura.
I mean, hey, Chainsaw Woman is Chainsaw Woman, and that's a lot of power. If you're able to get Kem Baron online with that. Oh, go ahead.
I was about to say interesting starter. I kind of haven't seen one like that. I believe there's a not Heartsteel. What is it? Oh my god, fraud alert. Sorry. But I also did see a Moo too. So, wonder how that plays out. I wonder where they're going with that direction.
Yeah, I think Siren might just be playing Kog'Maw. Looks like that's sort of what the spot looked like. And hey, Rainy Day's still on a win streak here. I think that this Conqueror board is not going to pose too big of a challenge. Hopefully I'm not cursing Rainy Day, but like, look at this. The experiment units have popped back out, and there's so much DPS coming out of this board that what can you do if you're Duchess of Deer? All your damage is single target, you're level 4, you have Raining Gold, there's no power for you to deal with this, it's over.
I also want to point out, this experiment reminds me of Hellions, right? Where you just get overran. And as you point out, you have single target damage. What can you do, really?
Yeah, it can be really difficult. There's an Alawi in this shop?
Yeah, play that. I think also with Rainy Day, you need to have that in the back of your mind that they're probably going to be going for Warwick later in the game. Just put it out there. And if they do end up hitting Warwick, I don't want to say GG, but it could be really difficult to kill.
It could be GG. It could be GG. Okay, if you're Rogue Cat here, I feel like you are praying to Mortdog that an Ezreal shows up in your next 2 to 3 shops. Because Ezreal gives you Academy and Rebel when you level up to level 6. And that's just a lot of power for everybody to deal with.
At this point, with Rainy Day, everyone else is playing for second. But if you want to play spoiler, there's an opportunity, I think, for that too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if everybody else is playing for second. Like, you could always miss. We saw things go the wrong way for other players before, but hey, Rainy Day did upgrade to that Urgot, and also, her win streak's over. So Hula Hooper is the one putting the hurt on the lobby right now.
Can we quickly take a look and see what Hula Hooper's playing? Okay.
Oh,
so
the other Twitch player.
Oh man. With Pyromaniac, it makes sense, right? Because you are going to be spreading the damage.
Yeah, I think this makes a ton of sense. Slamming the Last Whisper means that you might be a little bit less flexible to Zoe than you otherwise were. But looking at how powerful this spot is right now, there's a decent chance we are going to have the resources to find Twitch before some of the other experiment players do.
Oh my goodness. You hit Nunu 2 on level 5. I feel like you're in a really good... and you're win streaking. You got an upgraded frontline. Well, mostly upgraded frontline. And yeah, you're safe to go to 6, I think, at this point. And then Splash and Conquer there. That also helps.
Yeah, I think this is going to pay off before the end of the stage in terms of when you are going to get the next Conqueror cash out. Because if you win every fight and you kill 5 units a fight, that means you're going to get to 35. And I think that makes this level worth it. If it means you get that unit a turn earlier, maybe it helps you win the final round. So it's all justifiable, and over on the other side we can see Laura is playing Chembear.
Right. Laura is happy, I think, to take this loss, considering how she's going about Chembaron. I have told a fun little story. I've told Laura she cannot play Chembaron. I don't want her inting all of our health in Elo.
What? Okay, double up is also hard though, right? Because you have to rely on your teammates sometimes to be able to, come and help you when you're in a bad matchup. And
exactly.
And that kind of means that you have to play Lost Streak alongside your teammate. That's difficult. I mean, this Kog'Maw, you have the opportunity to slam. I mean, putting that on the Zeri makes sense to me as well. She's a great secondary carry for the mid game here, and Alice is on a win streak with this Kog'Maw spot.
I'd be very interested to see if she runs into Hula Hooper though, just because of how ahead they are. But they've dodged it, except they run into a Corki, and early Corki is a pretty good Corki.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that you still have a decent chance of winning because the Corki itemization isn't particularly strong, and Rio's only at level 5. But Rio has set themselves up well for the mid to late game if you've already found a Corki, and we haven't seen a lot of Corki or Emissary gameplay today.
Oh, that was so close!
We haven't seen a lot of Corki gameplay today, but I think that Corki is just so good. Wait, what is... I swear I saw a Kog'Maw with a collector on it. Could we locate that? I thought that was interesting. Yeah, I think that might have been a misclick. I won't say it for sure. Maybe Siren is going into Rebels. Oh, that would make sense. If Siren's... Why does Siren have 2 gold? I'm confused. I'll just leave it at that.
I was about to say me too, because you need to guarantee that you start winning if you want to repair your eco there.
Yeah, but I mean, look at this. We're fighting Rainy Day, who just spawned 2 extra units for Siren to collect. Genius mode. I mean, you have to make 10.
Right?
Right? I mean, I don't know. I think Siren is playing extremely aggressively in a way that might not end up benefiting them. But that's okay, because this tournament is for fun.
Exactly.
And you can do what you want.
89 health, I think you're okay.
Yeah, I think that's more or less how I would view it as well. I mean, look, it's not the greatest sin anyone's ever committed. It's just up there. It's like pride.
We just don't
Pride's
know.
not the
We
worst
just
sin, right?
if they end up winning the tournament, we'll have to ask them.
Um, yeah, I guess we will. This is the sort of thing that I would be really frustrated by on ladder. Siren has 5 points. Siren's not winning the tournament.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. But maybe they just want to go out with a bang. Then that's fine too. You
They're
definitely
going out.
caught our
They're
attention.
going out with a bang. They're going out with a bang. I mean, too bad if Hula Hooper runs into them and just has their win streak ended. But look, Duchess of Deer has a lot of powerful units on this board, has the Garen activated, it's 3 items on the Casio. This might actually be a close matchup, even though Siren is level 7-0, because Duchess of Deer is level 750, and if Duchess of Deer wins this round, oh, but the Zamulu lives for so long. The 3 Archangels on Siren's board are cooking up a ton of ability power for those 2 backliners, and hey, we might even get some Collector procs.
Okay, if I was Duchess of Deer right now, I'd be so frustrated. I'm like, how do they get to win with 0 gold and I have 50 and I haven't rolled at all? Ugh.
Like, it is frustrating, but oh man. What I would also say is, like, I wish Siren took the Gambler's Blade, because with the way that these fights are going, I mean, she had an opportunity to take the Gambler's Blade, and this
Right.
Kog'Maw would have farmed a ton of gold. But I think that the way that this looks is like you're gonna play Academy and Rebel. You're gonna play Academy for right now, and then through Academy you're gonna eventually be able to play Rebel. And I think that that's how you find your way to a version of the game where this spot is good. But there are also players like Rogue Cat who are playing Rebel, and they have 50 gold with Cluttered Mind. So maybe you can't play Rebel. Maybe this game is over, because I don't know if we're winning this round. And if we don't win this round, the game is definitely over. No! Wait, Lux is on the wrong target.
No. Wait, Shirley, right?
Kog'Maw.
I think you're caster cursing them.
Oh my gosh!
You're. Oh, the classic
I'm
thumbs
the
up.
genius of caster cursing.
So
That's
so
crazy.
We're seeing Hula Hooper here with, I believe it was 6 Bruiser. Can we scout them out again? Yeah, 6 Bruiser, 2 Conqueror. Where do you think the angle comes into? I'm gonna go into Twitch. I'm gonna go into Mundo. Screw the other player who has or screw Rainy Day who has Experiment Emblem.
I mean, I just don't believe you have a choice in this position. Like, look at your items. You only have the opportunity to play around AD here. Maybe if you summon a Jinx 2 on this roll down or a Zoe 2 on this roll down, you're going to consider pivoting. But, I mean, you're just set up for Twitch. I would love to see Hula Hooper pick up a sniper on this roll down, because I know it's so hard for me to do this when I play Twitch. You roll down, and you're so excited to find your Twitch and your Mundo, but you can't find the sniper that goes with Twitch, because it's just like a secondary thought, and any sniper will do, but you don't find any of the snipers, and it's over. But look at this roll down. Hula Hooper went too fast, went too early.
Maybe, and I also want to point out that they have 2 red buffs, so that's a lot of damage and burn being applied on this Leona, for example.
Yeah, I mean, this is... Hula Hooper is undoubtedly very powerful right now, but I'm just concerned for her because she leveled and rolled on 4-1. She knows she's contested. She wants to find the units early. I've done this. I've been in this spot. But she didn't find any Twitches. And if she's hard committed to Twitch, that's a sad, sad story.
Now, if you're in Rainy Day's position, that's really good for her, because now she can get Twitch and company.
Yeah, and
However,
I think Rainy Day might also have the econ advantage here now.
Yeah. However, okay, it's a prismatic. Let's see. Do we find something that repairs econ?
I mean, this is Rogue Cat here. Rogue Cat needs to clear space on their bench because they need to pick up these anvils. This might be something like the Rage Blade. I think that could be really good with this kind of scaling setup. Could be a jeweled gauntlet for the Heimerdinger as well. I like that a lot. And I'm not sure what you're going to take here. The gem would have actually been my pick, but I think the locket is going to give you more frontline, which is not so bad. And we're going to start the roll down a little bit late because we had to choose our final polish items, but we might be set up well for our late game here.
If
That's
you
a lot
were
of
in,
Ezreals.
yeah, if you were, yeah, you pick up the Mordekaiser. I am a Zephyr. I used to be a Zephyr main when Zephyr was craftable, so I'm biased to Zephyr. I'm sad that they didn't take it. But you're correct. Like the locket is definitely gonna help. You know, frontline. It'll like give it more time for the backline to do damage.
Yeah, I mean, I think the locket is actually strictly worse than the gem here. I feel like the gem is so valuable when you have this powerful of a frontline, and you need to start scaling damage over the course of the fight. But I think Rogue Cat just needed to make those decisions fast, and I applaud them for trying to make the decisions fast because making decisions fast is hard. Rio has capitalized to the best of their ability on this early Corki. Now they are in this sort of intermediate point between like their early game board and what they eventually wanted to play, which is going to be this emissary Corki board. It's just unfortunate because Rio doesn't have Garen or Tristana, and you need all four emissaries to play around four emissaries.
Wait a second. Hula Hooper. We were just talking about how they couldn't hit Twitch. They hit Twitch and Caitlyn.
Well, they had to, but yeah, I agree with you. They definitely did get the base copies that they needed.
And they still have 10 gold. And they're still winning.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think Rainy Day also found the Twitch. I am interested to see how many experiments they currently have. It's probably 5 experiment right now, but yeah, 5 experiment for Pit Fighter is an interesting board to put together. I think Rainy Day is going to spike super hard if they find that Warwick though. That's what you've been saying all game. That's what you've been waiting for. Is
I'm waiting for this Warwick. I think okay. My favorite unit is Mbessa, but my second favorite unit would have to be Warwick. Just how cool he is.
Warwick is definitely cool. I'm with you there. Yeah, I think it might be lights out if Rainy Day is able to hit this Warwick. But look at some of the other players in this lobby. Duchess of Deer had a rough game too when we were watching, but now we're level 9 with the Call to Chaos. And trying to put together a Silco board here on level 9 could be a little bit difficult with how much gold we have left, but we found LeBlanc, so now we have 5 Black Rose activated. And anti-heal coming through on the Silco is going to make a difference as well. The only thing I'm concerned about is how much gold are we going to be able to spend on the Anomaly. We have to be able to find something that makes a difference that goes on our units. And I think we're going to be able to beat Rogue Cat, who's still on level 8 and is just rocking the Zoe. But there are challenges in store for Duchess of Deer to stay in this game.
You got to go through Rainy Days. You got to go through Hula Hooper. I'm not sure where Rogue Cat's at. Oh wait, we're watching. Silly me, Rogue Cat. But keep in mind they have Zoe 1, so. Wow, actually that was really close considering. I'm not sure how many points they need to secure top 8. I'm not familiar. Oh, well, that was a pretty quick walk.
You like comeback stories?
I do like a good comeback story.
On the other hand, Hula Hooper has all the gold in the world and has the luxury of choice, rolling for something really good, and I think Deep Roots could very well be the answer on this Dr. Mundo. Having Dr. Mundo be immovable in that front line is going to make sure Twitch is very protected
from the rest of the lobby, but rolling this deep is going to be a little bit of a struggle because it means we're killing our odds to get to level 9. And look at how healthy we still are. So I think it's an aggressive play, but trying to keep this win streak is not the worst decision in the world either. I'd be split.
Real quick, can we see where Laura's at? She's at 8. So I wanna see where she. Okay. Hey,
Oh,
Laura,
you're so
I see
right.
you.
Well, Laura has Victor, and Victor could keep Laura in the game. Her call to chaos looks like it gave her 3 thieves gloves, which is going to do a fair amount of work. Looking at the cash out, I would say this is probably like a 300 cash, and that makes things pretty awkward because you still need to play around Chem Baron units in order to keep your rewards.
Oh man,
but it's so
this Victor.
difficult to justify sometimes. Yeah, Victor.
Oh my! Wait, no! Oh no! Wait, Laura's no.
Yes.
Laura's.
I mean, Silco did it.
Oh my! Wait, I thought Laura. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the crazy thing about Silco is he can go down, but he's still valuable. Those little shimmerlings are still very useful at that point. Man, we said that Rainy Day was going to be in a really good spot if they hit Warwick, but they don't have a Warwick, and there's no more Zyra on the board either.
Huh. I want to say something didn't go to plan, but keep in mind too, Rainy Day is in the same position as Hula Hooper. They don't have a lot of gold.
Yeah, neither of them has a lot of gold. Oh, there's the Zyra in the shop. Remember to pick her up just in case you find the Warwick.
For Invective's sanity, we're gonna ask you to pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, the later this cast goes, the more I'm gonna like be unhinged, and unfortunately that means like I might like do a little like soft backseating. I hope that's all right.
I think I'm sure in our own unique little friend groups, someone has backseated someone. I think it's the TFT experience.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely, I'm with you. I think that, you know, Rainy Day has done the classic thing that you do when you're a little bit tired. It's got anti-heal on your backline, and you're just like, alright, I'll make a Sunfire, whatever. And then you look at your backliner when you go on to make an item on them, you're like, oh my god, I just made a Sunfire. Looking at this fight, I think that what we needed was unfortunately Shred, and that's not come through. Or Sunder, rather, has not come through on that board yet. But Hula Hooper is still alive and well, has the streak going, and has the chance to go to level 9 or even go to level 10, depending on how comfortable they feel, but we're going to start rolling again!
No! Okay, alright, that's it.
Okay,
no more
well,
rolling.
okay, at least this time it was really easy to hit everything that we wanted. And I think that means that Hula Hooper can get to level 10, or get to level 9.
Yeah, I agree. And something to add too with this Deep Roots, this Mundo is thick. Like, you got Bruiser, you got Deep
Oh, he's
Roots.
real thick.
You aren't killing this. We're seeing double Giant Slayer, and it's barely making a dent. Well, now it is, finally.
Oh, he's starting to get
Okay,
dented.
now, okay.
You started learning the curse. You started learning how to curse.
Yes. I guess that's the badge of honor that I needed to get first.
Wait, I wanted to see Alice cook, but unfortunately it seems as if Alice has had a frustrating experience. And despite being tied for first place, Alice goes out in 8th. That's really frustrating because I think that really makes the chances Alice goes to the finals significantly worse. And my heart breaks a little bit at that point.
Yeah, where you're doing so well, and you just, I don't know, like your last game just spirals out of control. I will say though, for Laura, this is interesting to see because, you know, I feel like she's been building upon what she has got going on.
Yeah, I mean, she's carrying all of the units on her board because she just has items for everything. And she's 2 off of Smeech 3, which could make a big difference in getting past some of these nasty front lines and getting onto these soft backlines. Like, getting onto Twitch,
Oh, no!
there's an experiment spat!
Your reaction, my reaction, I think says it all.
Okay, but does Rainy Day have the unit to take advantage of it?
Please tell me you picked up that Zyra. Please.
I mean, if we go back to Rainy Day's board and there's just a Warwick sitting on it, like I think that's just that. There's no Warwick. Rainy Day has saved up a lot of gold, and now has the opportunity to play 7 Experiment.
Okay.
So, as far as I know, this supercharges all of the Experiment bonuses on the units that have Experiment. I think that this is going to be a lot stronger if we get to Warwick. That's just my vibe.
At this point, I think if you get to 9 and you hit Warwick, do you switch? Do you get that Rage Blade firstly off of Jace? Because I think that's a core item. I'm also very curious to see where Laura is at, because remember, she's like I said, she's built herself up a nice front line in Silco.
Yeah, I mean, I just gotta say, this is a matchup that we saw earlier, and it's just so frustrating to try to fight these Sentinels when you don't have Sunder on this board. Twitch is going to be dealing a little bit of extra max health damage, but it's not enough to crack the case. Rainy Day's down at 1 life now, and
Laura's on a win streak. Okay.
Laura's on a win streak. Laura can. Oh wait, I don't know how many points Laura has. Laura does not have enough points.
I don't
That's
think
fine.
Laura has enough points. No, I think she's
That's
just
fine.
straight up been playing Cam Baron the entire tournament, saying if I win, it's okay. If I lose, that's okay too.
That's real. That's very real. I mean, if Laura wins one more round, she's going to be able to cash out Chem Baron again. And if she cashes out Chem Baron again, then she has the opportunity
Oh no, you're
to maybe
facing
get
your
one of those
phone.
like Shimmer duplicators. And if you get a Shimmer duplicator, then you can get Smeech 3. And if you get Smeech 3, then you can lose to Warwick.
Echo wrapping around. Hello? Okay. Oh, wait, and QSS. Oh no. No, not like this.
No.
At first I thought Mbessa was Echo.
Yeah.
And Rainy Day lives, so I think that's good for the odds of hitting Warwick.
I think it's just odd to see this airship silhouette moving around sometimes.
I agree.
Yeah, Roadcat has been doing super well since upgrading to this Zoe 2. And I think that Roadcat also did a really good job of pivoting into 7 Rebel in this position, dropping out of 2 Sentinel. Because they recognize that they got durability from Final Polish, and what they can do now is play around all of the damage that these Rebel units have. So even though this like looks a little bit funky and there's a Sentinel Ezreal with a Crown Guard in the front line, like Roadcat has survived really well compared to some of the other players in the lobby. And I think that they came up with a solid game plan based on the decisions that they made.
Yeah, I agree. I'm again. I not to give too much show to Rainy Day, but they did go to 9. So did they hit the Warwick or not? Can we quickly go check?
There's a Warwick in this shop.
No, not like this.
Oh, I mean Hula Hooper's 9.
Hula Hooper's 9
Rainy
as
Day
well.
is not 9. Rainy Day is 9? Rainy Day is not 9.
Real talk, if I'm about to die and I have a Warwick in my shop, I'm getting rid of that Caitlyn. I'm selling that Mundo. I'm buying that Warwick. Warwick is such a powerful champion that just changes the course of a whole game.
Yeah. Man, the Deep Roots is doing so much work. This
No,
Mundo-
not like this. Not like this.
I mean, like, I don't know if it was Hula Hooper's intention, but she definitely griefed Rainy Day a little bit because she's holding these extra Dr. Mundos, right?
Oh, Rokat has Warwick, so interesting.
Okay,
Remember,
then this is
like I said,
something.
Warwick's such a powerful unit. It doesn't matter what comp he's in. Like, yeah, he's just gonna do damage. So,
I mean, this is definitely best in slot.
yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it is definitely solid. We know that Rio is playing those emissaries. Rio was looking to be in a really tough spot, but she pulled it back from the brink after not having Garen or Tristana in the middle of stage 4, being really low HP. She was able to pull it all back. Hula Hooper is going to be taking Rogue Cat down here. And I think that this is unfortunately a kill. It's not. It's not a kill. But Rogue Cat is going to have to deal with Rio now.
You're right. Reverse caster curse.
Nothing I say is ever true.
Right. I wanna figure out how Hula Hooper like wins out. I think what they have to do again is find Warwick. I don't know how many copies of 6 costs are. Definitely not. I don't think there's definitely enough to sustain 2.
Well, what I do know is that you need a lot of gold because
yes,
anecdotally, I've heard that you can't hit the same 6 cost twice in a row in your shop. And what that means is like you need to be able to hit multiple 6 costs in order to actually upgrade a 6 cost. So yeah, in order to beat Rio, I mean, yeah, you really are going to have to find more value on level 9 than you currently have. And I think maybe unfortunately Hula Hooper has spent a lot of gold.
Yeah, and I think we touched on that. That happened twice, right? You're rolling a little deep for that Twitch, and then it puts you behind. Hula Hooper's, I think, sitting on 5 Mundos? 4 Mundos. Now 5.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit frustrating at this point because Hula Hooper has all the health in the world to work with, but none of the gold in the world. And when you are in that position, I think you just gotta say like, screw it. But that's just we spent too much gold on level 8. I mean, I guess we haven't seen these two players fight, but Rio is on just such a win streak that it seems like Rio should win. And Rio will definitely win if Mbessa goes all the way to the backline, but Mbessa dashed all the way back to our backline.
Victor cast.
Yeah, and Victor is giving this board Sunder, right?
Yeah.
Sunder to take down this Dr. Mundo. I think that's proving to be really valuable.
And I'm also going to point out too. Oh, there's a Garen. I'm going to point out too that they have Conqueror, so they're going to continue getting rewards. This
I'm just like I'll point it out. I don't think they're getting another reward.
No.
But like they got some rewards.
Yeah.
Some rewards are some rewards.
Oh, and there's a Warwick.
Whoa.
Wait, no. Wait. Oh, interesting.
No more Conqueror.
No more Conqueror. Well, you were right. They no more rewards.
But that's also interesting to me because like Warwick seems to me like he would be weaker on this board as it is. But what if you move the Vi items over to the Warwick?
Wait.
I think that could be really good. But the pivot was ill-advised.
That feels so bad.
Yeah, I think that's a frustrating way to go out because it's just like you seemed like you had the tools to take the, and it might have been an unforced error to put Warwick on the board. But that's okay. That's the sort of decision that like you have to live and learn with. And I think
that, yeah, I think that Rio was still doing a really good job with that game in terms of turning it back around from the position that she was in after her 4-2 roll down.
Yeah, and I'm going to point out too that like Warwick, Pork to me does not strike as a tank. So even though he is double the cost of Swain, you were winning with Swain. I don't think you should change what is not broken, but maybe the stats of Warwick got caught up, and it's like, okay, well, we'll just play it. Screw it.
I can totally see it happening. I think Rio just, like, closing out the game is one of those experiences that you kind of need to have it over and over. And I feel like both of those players might have arguably made mistakes in terms of how to close out the game, but that's totally fine. We're going to switch over here to Lobby B's perspective as they close out, because we're waiting on them to see the finals, and Celeste has bounced back yet again after what was an otherwise pretty tough game one. She might now be in contention to go to the finals. And,
Man, what?
That's got to be kill streak, right?
What the? Oh my goodness!
The anomaly on Heimerdinger has got to be kill streak if that's the way that fight goes. Oh
my god!
Yeah.
How did you? Okay, you know what? I'm going to ask you how you know.
I've played a lot of Heimerdinger.
Okay.
And I played a lot of Heimerdinger starting on like the very first day of PvE. I just think the Academy version of this composition is fun, but killstreak, like when I saw this in PvE, when I found this augment or the anomaly champion combination, I was just like, this is Skibbity Heimerdinger. So yeah, I mean, like that doesn't even mean anything because I'm not even like real Gen Z, but it just stuck as a name for it in my head. Anyways, I think Celeste, like that fight was on a razor's edge. I think that this endgame could still go either way. Celeste has probably got 2 lives.
Yeah.
But if the fight goes really poorly, it could just be 1 life. And we're going up against 6 Automata, Sniper, Nocturne, with Victor, Ambessa, Blitzcrank, and Malzahar all carried. Like, it's easy to see why this is such a close fight, right?
I'm also going to point out, and maybe it's not fair of me, but Celeste is holding on to 4 Malzahars. I'm pretty sure she's denying them hitting 2-star Malz, which, I mean, in a tournament scenario, makes sense.
Fair play. I think that Celeste has to play for first place. I don't know if she needs first place, but she really, in her spot in the tournament, should play for first place. And I think that denying the Malzahars for as long as she did makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
It all comes down to positioning at this point. Heimerdinger walked up after Ambessa procced her Edge of Night, so we're really looking for the fight to change in that respect. And oh gosh, we're clumped for Ambessa, and that might mean she gets a really big ult splash onto the backline.
This is gonna be close. I think this is gonna be this Victor.
Yeah, like maybe we saw like an outlier fight at the start, but it seems like most of the time Mizuki just had a little bit too much speed in the fight for Heimerdinger to be relevant, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had 2 Archangels on the Heimerdinger, and the fight that we watched where Heimerdinger won out, Heimerdinger survived for a really long time. So at the end of the fight, Heimerdinger was able to reset over and over and over again. But unfortunately, if you don't survive, if your frontline doesn't survive long enough, it's not all meant to be.
I'm also going to point out, Corley came 3rd in that lobby. I don't know if that places on the top 8 and heading into our final lobby, but I do like to see that little bit of fight still, like, in everyone, to try to, make it.
Yeah, absolutely. And as the standings update, I think maybe this isn't 100% confirmed, but just going off of the public score sheet, I would be, yeah, I mean, I think Salad is in solid first place. Then we have Rio, who is we watched take that first place, or second place with Corki and Ambessa, SY in third, Fluid Fem in fourth. So a bunch of characters we're familiar with. And then Nemo, Boywife, Mizuki, and Tostitos all tied at 17 points. Then the cutoff would be at 16, so if the public standings are correct, there are no tiebreakers, and the top 8 is set. Wow, that is really, really close. And it's really heartbreaking for Alice, who we watched take 8th place. But yeah, wow, this was a close cut to the finals.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Actually, I'm looking at it now. I'm sorry, I was checking. But oh man, you could just tell how top heavy it was, and then unfortunately, Celeste does fall because of that one unlucky first game. Oh,
Yeah, that's a tough.
Yeah, I
situation.
do really like the fight that was shown though. Like, they didn't give up. She didn't give up. You know, I think that's very, very admirable.
Yeah, she really did bounce back. I think that being 1 point away from going to the finals is something that I've experienced like a ton of times. So if Celeste needs any encouragement, which I don't think she does, like this is a chill tournament, and this has happened to plenty of competitive players. It's probably happened to Celeste before, but like it totally happens. It's not really your fault. You can always do better, but it is what it is. You did your best. And
Now it makes me think back to that one round where you talked about like Mbessa being clumped with all those champions. I wonder if you just spread. There's too many variables. I just obviously I don't want to rub salt in the wound, but like if you didn't clump up, do you think Heimer kills all those units? You'd come first.
Oh, it's really tough. I think that because there are so many carries on the enemy fight, there's so many ways that you have to position around their damage in order to try to maximize the value of your front line. So I really wouldn't stress out about it too much. The main thing that I'm happy with Celeste for in that situation is that Celeste changed the positioning from the previous fight and recognized that it was probably not good for Heimerdinger to be right in front of the Ambessa, because that is part of what contributed to the fight being lost. Unfortunately, maybe Celeste needed to try to juke one way and then the other, but changing up the formation makes a lot of sense to me. You have to do something different if what you did is not working.
Yeah, and I think that's like like without being redundant, because I'm sure a lot of casters have talked about this. That's the beauty of TFT. Like nothing, and Victor too. Just putting that out there. It doesn't have to be perfect to make it in a box, right? Like that's the beauty. Like you got your Mort Dogs diffs, your slight positioning diffs that change the tide of one single battle. So yeah, it definitely does suck, but at the same time I don't think anyone should be disappointed in themselves. I think they should be proud for the hustle that they put themselves into, and congrats to our top 8. I think this is going to be an exciting last lobby. We've seen some of these players pop off, and now to have all of them into one last lobby to see who takes home the Holidaze prize, right?
Yeah, this is huge. I think we saw Salad in one game, and if I'm not mistaken, Salad took second or third. But yeah, third place. But I think it was a strong third place, and excited to see them out in first at the moment. I think points are going to carry over, but it's not the widest field in terms of the point totals for the finals. So I think it really is anyone's game, and I'm excited to see them all bring it out.
Is there anything that you want to see in the final lobby? Like,
yeah, I want to see Lux carry. I want to see Lux carry with
right,
Deep Roots and Lone Hero.
That's right. We have talked about this where, Was it what? BT Archangels and something else?
Yeah, BT and 2 Archangels. You have Lone Hero and Deep Roots.
Yeah.
Maybe this is like giving away too much tech, but I think it's public enough.
I don't know.
It's just
Like,
fun.
I have brought up the fact that there was an Echo Sniper running around. We still haven't seen that, so
Yeah, you're right. I think there's more to come then.
feel free, top 8, if you have tuned into here and you're hearing us talk about this, feel free to try it. Like, you've made the top 8. I mean, yeah, you're still playing for those points in that juicy prize pool. Again, what our players are playing for again?
Yeah, that's gonna be 4,000 RP. That's just enough to get you like 3 skins, 3 full price skins. That's like not bad. Maybe like a third of the way through pity on one of the gacha rolls. That's not bad either. 4,000 RP. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Sorry.
I mean, I don't know if you can buy people. No, I think. How does gifting work? Heck, you can even gift skins to your friends with that RP too.
True.
Or you can roll for that Vi and Caitlyn, which I've been doing and I haven't had any luck, so I don't know what to do. This is the first time I've been low rolling.
I'm gonna say it sounds like you're a better person than me, because I went straight into thinking about what I was gonna do with my RP, not what I was gonna do for my friend's RP in the season of giving. Anyways.
No, it's okay. I do have a small friend group that I would maybe treat, but then again, I've been low rolling for Caitlyn and Vi. So I also want to point out some of these players. Saladidi. We're sorry if we're pronouncing your name wrong, by the way. They've been really strong, and let's just recap what they have been playing. I believe they played Kog'Maw. I think they played Enforcer. I'm gonna check real quick. They played Rebel. What else?
I mean, I think the Rebel game is the one that we watched, right? The Rebel game is the one they slammed the Rage Blade on the Nami early, and they pivoted through Heimer, and then they ended up on Rebels. And I think they lost to... I don't really remember what they lost to. It is what it is.
Oh,
Echo finds the perfect prismatic timeline.
Yes, we get a full prismatic augment game for our finale. Let's do this.
I mean, that's fun for us.
For us. I don't know. Between you and me, I do actually enjoy playing prismatics. They're fun. They're exciting. It makes the heart pump.
Okay, it makes the heart pump. Like,
my heart is.
I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
I'm definitely excited to see what our final lobby cooks up. I want to see. Like, we've already talked about. I want to see another Rebel game because that was just too cool to to start off the first game of the tournament.
Yeah, you know what? I'm with you. I feel like we could. Well, in the second game, we almost got a 3-star 5 cost, but I think who was it? Whoever we were watching didn't have the APM to go for Caitlyn 3 on one turn, and that's not a crime. But I was a little disappointed at the end of the day that we didn't see Caitlyn 3.
Was it? Oh my goodness, I can't even remember. I'm surprised I can't remember. It'll come back to me though, like after the tournament is finished. Something else I want to see that I even haven't had the pleasure of myself hitting is 9 Conqueror. love to see that.
Ooh. Hey,
I've been
if you have, like
trying.
a Conqueror one trick. You got
I am
like, you gotta
yeah.
hit it sometime.
Yeah, I keep playing it, keep hoping I want to hit it, but well, we're still sitting here. So if one of the players could channel that, I'd be so happy to see.
I mean, I'll say this: if you play Conqueror in every game that you play, then you'll never miss an opportunity to hit 9 Conqueror.
I wonder, do we see Build-A-Bud here? Do you go for the? Oh no, they have said nope. I'm playing for the W.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't love building a Bud. I think that augment got a lot worse once you couldn't turn the Bud from a one cost into a 2 cost with the charm. I think the charm was really funny when you were able to do that.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
yeah.
It was
Different choices
exciting
here.
yeah. This one's tough.
I like the caretakers chosen personally, but committing to reroll is not bad. There are a lot of positive, like strong reroll options. I would just say that when you are committing yourself to reroll, there could be a lot of players who are also committed to reroll. Like, for example, SY could be committed to family. We've seen a couple pit fighter players reroll family today. And I would also say that, like, if somebody has taken something like Living Forge, then we know that not only are artifacts powerful on units like Nocturne, but like combinations of artifacts are even like way more powerful on those units. So, well, SY is level 4, so we're probably not going to see family reroll.
I also want to point out with Prismatics, I'm not sure if reroll is the go-to, just because like you could be pushing tempo and then someone gets to level 8 and you're still re-rolling and you just spiral out of control and you can't keep up.
Yeah, I totally get what you mean. I think that's definitely one of the risks, and I'm with you. Like, tempo is important, and if you're playing for that 4,000 RP or just playing for the pride of victory, yeah, you gotta make stuff happen. But over on the other side, it looks like Rio is sort of committed to this Automata reroll, has itemization on Amumu, and staying low level to try to preserve gold, to maximize that prismatic ticket for later.
I feel like the hot take of this lobby will be a 6 cost will determine who wins.
I think that's pretty fair. If that is true, then it is probably going to benefit these players to level up, right? SY is on a solid win streak. Fluid Femme, I mean, we saw them take the first with. Oh, they're the prismatic ticket, the other prismatic ticket player.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I guess this is going to become a Renata spot, judging on the units they're holding.
I think Prismatic will be good later. I would just save up money and then go to level, and then you have higher chances of hitting. But that's my play style. These players know what they're doing. They know what they want to play.
Yeah, I mean, I think that for all intents and purposes, this doesn't look like a bad Renata spot. I think my biggest concern is the items. I think you would really want to have... Ooh, quality over quantity is going to come through for Boy Wife. Sorry, I feel like so distracted.
It's
just
totally
to pivot topics so quickly. But like, that's a cool augment.
I've seen my significant other play it, and he had a hard time like trying to figure out what to put on each character. It was funny. I do think it's powerful though, because like, you are getting a free Radiant item, right?
Yeah, I'm totally with you there. I think getting a free Radiant item is especially powerful when you're like when you're just trying to tempo. You can send just about anything on anyone, and you're gonna find some success. Such as in this spot, where your Ziggs has a Radiant, and now your Cassio has a Radiant. But at the same time, the concern is that, like, in the late game, you have to make trade-offs between the items that you've spread out across your units and stacking your items positively on one unit. And I'm not sure there are that many compositions that benefit from having items spread. One example I could think of is it could be really powerful on emissaries, right? Where pretty much all of your units do stuff. So it's not really bad to have a few vertical units and a lot of horizontal units. But yeah, I don't know, just my thoughts.
Of course. It's interesting to see they're playing Dominator for now. I do think it's a strong early game comp, so we'll obviously have to keep an eye out on that. I do think SY is pretty strong. I'm curious, and they have an Edge of Knight. Let's not forget. So maybe later they're gonna play like between a Vi, Savika, anything Pitfire related. Oh, interesting. What an interesting wandering training dummy. I like it. We know why I like it. We don't need to talk about that again. This definitely unlocks a lot of potential to hit an early 6 conquer, which could help you accelerate your game so quickly.
I agree with you that there's a chance to hit an early 6 conqueror here, but I don't think Nemo has done a lot of conquering this game. That's my hot take.
Yeah,
I think Nemo is gonna have a lot of work to do to embody the Noxian spirit, and it's gonna start with hitting some units.
You have to hit the early Mbessa, which I'm gonna say.
Look at the dummy jump around.
Oh.
Quality is gonna beat quantity here.
For sure. I just want to touch on it again. You have to hit that Mbessa really early, and there's been times where I just am illegal and I hit, and I don't even know why. It feels good when that happens.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Castillo dip level 6. Did they take the top
No, that's just
up?
level up. I have heard, by the way, on the discussion of when you're supposed to take at what cost. I think that's good advice that the best time to take at what cost is in prismatic, the perfect timeline where all augments are prismatic. Because it means, among other things, that the power value of the augments is good, but also it means that some of the screwy options are not present. You do not want to see Dumbify or Golemify on your second augment roll. So those options are taken out. At the same time, I will say that I've seen my friend Lil Top take at what cost, and then he got egg as his third augment.
Oh my goodness! What?
And I think it went 5th.
I mean,
after
that's an egg. You get a free egg. You don't even need to pick it. Like
free egg. You don't even need to pick it. Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't need to pick it, but it got picked for you. So.
If we do see golden egg, that'd be exciting. But I feel like with egg, you have to be in a good spot to make sure you continue winning to get that egg hatched. Because if your egg doesn't hatch, everyone else takes like a combat augment. What then, right?
Oh yeah, totally. You absolutely would have to get it hatched.
It's interesting to see what Tostitos and Dip are like. What they're playing here. We've got Powder. I'm assuming it's just an item holder. And same with Darius. Like, you're in a good position here to continue pressing tempo. You're level 6, 31 gold, 5. You're gonna be on a 6 streak. Like, you're chilling.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I think Tostitos is in a really powerful position because just to be winning with level up, it's so rare in general that like being able to get to level 9 from this spot, being able to get to level 10 from this spot, like you said, this game might be decided by a 6 cost, right? They're going to have a really good opportunity to hit those because they're going to have slightly better odds that come with being higher level. On the other hand, someone like Rio is probably not going to be very high level later on. Rio needs to save as much gold as possible because they got to hit their Nocturnes. This spot is looking dire to me.
Yeah, I feel like I even like make this type of mistake with coordination. You should try to put on your carry because you get so much value out of it, even though you do drop an item. I believe you get 30 plus attack speed, or no, damage, attack speed, and health, right?
It is definitely really strong. I would say that yeah, coordination like it could definitely pay off later on, but right now it looks a little bit silly because Rio is level 5 playing 5 out of 6 units when they could be level 6 playing 7 units. But like that's the trade-off that you have to make when you have Prismatic Ticket. You have to maximize that gold value so you can turn it all around later and hit.
Scoring an early Zoe too, and then putting snipers on her sounds pretty disgusting.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy. No, there are a lot of very powerful players in this lobby. I think among them, Salad is the points leader, right? And I think that the way that this looks, Salad seems like probably just playing Rebels again.
And
Yeah.
wait, well, what's the second augment that they have? I haven't seen it. I know.
I think she just has bulky buddies where, yeah, you just want to have these units paired up next to each
Yeah,
other.
yeah. It seems good. Like they're playing for Temple, right? Like. What do you think they'll later play on? Like you have Jewel Gauntlet, Rageblade, and Sojin.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, this just looks like Rebels to me. I think that ultimately you can have Rageblade, JG, and Static Shiv on your Zoe. You pivot the Shojin over to Jinx, and I think everybody's happy.
I want to point out Nemo has 2 Conqueror spats,
What?
and they're about to get Mbessa.
Ooh, that's very intriguing. Wait, 2 Conqueror Spats? 2 Conqueror Spats is
think
not
you need
enough, right?
3.
You need 3.
You need 3.
But if the third augment is Call to Chaos,
Okay. Now we're just
then
too
you have
excited.
like a 5 to 10% chance of getting 6 random emblems. And then you're in the perfect timeline where all augments are
Yes.
prismatic.
According to Echo.
You said you wanted to see it, right?
I do. I really do. I'm not caster cursing. Okay, don't get my hopes up too high. I'm kind of shaking my head a little on the Sojin because it's like it feels like a premature slam. Because I don't see a world where Sojin works in Conqueror. I haven't found that unless I'm crazy.
It looks like you haven't found the perfect timeline.
I haven't found the timeline for that.
No, I think this is an interesting spot to be in. I don't know if I agree with these 3 items beyond Blitzcrank. I know that Blitzcrank is your most powerful guy right now, but he just doesn't do that much in terms of like damage.
I'm gonna point out too that if you don't get Conquer rolling, you fall off. There has been games where, for me, I have fallen 8th because I couldn't win.
Yeah, I can see it being frustrating. Now, Tostitos and Dip took the Dark Alley dealings as their second augment, so that means they're going to be getting both a Trenchcoat and a Trickster's Glass. But I'm interested to see where these artifacts go. What I know for a fact is that the Suspicious Trenchcoat is very, very good in the Emissary composition. You put it on Mbessa, and Mbessa will split up. She'll have 3 little girl versions of her do 3 very impactful casts, and I think they all get the benefits of all like the Emissary stats. So I think that is part of the reason why it's very powerful. But on Echo, I'm not sure. I haven't checked those stats. I don't have that experience. I feel like on Echo it could be really good, or it could be kind of meh.
So we have Rio at 55. If you were the bottom 3 in a tournament scenario, what do you think? Like, what would you recommend them doing to get back into the game?
So, you're talking about if you're Rio, Nemo, or Fluid Femme.
Yes.
Well, I think that at least two of these players, Rio and Fluid Femme, are playing Prismatic Ticket. So it kind of, to me, is just like, gotta roll and hope Mort Dog blesses you. To be honest, I think Rio has not been blessed by Mort Dog so far. I think Rio needs way more hits in order to make this all work. And going to level 7 is one way to do it, but yeah, I mean, like, you're really just going to need everything to start coming together, or else this is...
I also want to point
gonna
out
be frustrating.
that you could have had Rage Blade, which is core on Kog'Maw.
Yeah, I think Rio's going for Rio's really going for the Nocturne Quick Strikers version of this. And I don't mind that. But what I'm concerned about is that the odds for Nocturne are not going to be good on 7, even if the odds for Mbessa are going to be better. So that could make things really difficult, and we gotta wait and see, right?
Interesting.
I mean, you asked about Nemo and you asked about Fluid Femme as well. I think Fluid Femme might have needed to stabilize earlier, but I don't know if they're going to be able to win out from 35 HP. And Nemo just has to find the perfect time win.
Yeah. On the flip side, with okay, Tostito Dip has taken a little bit of a
Oh gosh, a change of fate.
Starting a round with 60 gold. Okay, I did
Have
say
you
6
ever seen
cost
this
was going to
augment?
change the game. No, I haven't. I want to. How much gold do they have?
Wait, no, Bronze for Life. Bronze for Life is so broken with Silco. Bronze for Life is so broken with Silco.
Okay.
We know this. We know this from Macau. We know this from Macau. So, Boywife, I believe in you. You picked the right augment. No!
Did they go calculated enhancement?
Boywife, no! I mean, I guess it's not confirmed that they're playing Silco, but it kind of looks like they're playing Silco.
Maybe they just don't watch Macau.
Yeah, you might be right.
I guess not everyone could. No, not everyone can stay up at 3 a.m. in the morning.
That's true. That was a
watch
hard tournament to watch. I think I usually like caught little snippets of it before I went to sleep because they started kind of early.
Yeah, some. I think the last final day they did start early. I was surprised.
But I mean, I guess it makes sense if you have like a bunch of Radiant JGs on your backline.
Oh my. Okay. Fluid Phlegm, I think cooked.
They might have cooked. Okay, what I will say is that Fluid Femme, like, they have whatever this augment is called, where you get a bonus loot out of prismatic orbs. Yeah, prismatic pipeline.
Yeah.
So they're powerful right now because they got extra loot out of their prismatic orb. But they could be even more powerful come stage 5 if they survive. And there's another prismatic orb or a gold orb. So I love an augment that leaves you waiting a little bit. You never know if it could give you a little bit more than you asked for. Anyways, Salad. Go ahead.
Saladility. I think you predicted this was Rebel, correct?
Yeah.
This does look like a Rebel board.
It looks like Rebels, but it doesn't look like the best Rebel board I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree. That's a 2-star Elise, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, well, as long as it just stabilizes, right? It's not a committed thing, although it definitely helps, right?
Yeah, I think that Salad is generally a player who does really well with, at the very least, from what we've seen so far, Salad has been really judicious in terms of how much she rolls and how she spends her gold. And that's how she ends up in positions where she consistently like wins over the rest of the lobby. I think that this spot is really difficult because we're running 2 carries that aren't Rebels, and we have the Rebel vertical. So, based on my intuition, we're not done rolling. But rolling right now feels really sinful because, like, we have 25 gold and we're really not guaranteed to hit very much. I'd love to see what Salinity does going into this round and going into the Anomaly round. Because I guess we have one Zoe for the Anomaly, but like, is that really enough? I'm not sure. It takes a lot of bravery to sit here. That's how I feel about it.
Dropping in the Sorcerer and an Emissary. Okay. Well...
Yeah, I mean, I can see the vision, right? Gangplank is holding items for Jinx. Zoe is going to hold items for Zoe, because Zoe's Zoe. And I guess the real concern is, I've never seen how good this Elise main tank is.
Right, and now you're kind of falling off, and you're running into Fluid Femme, who, you know, has hit, is stabilizing. You're going to lose ground.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. Taking a look at the standings, I think Rio is really struggling, which I feel bad about. But I think her spot just looked really difficult when she didn't hit that many Nocturnes on level 6, went to level 7. And expecting to hit on level 7, I think that's a big ask. I think you need to focus more on level 6. But there are so many players playing for Ambessa in this game that things have become difficult. And whoa!
Okay.
Well, that's not what I was expecting to see.
Well, oh.
What?
What? Huh? There's no... Okay, listen. The luck has run out.
The perfect timeline?
This is where you wish to
okay,
have
but this is a good
bench.
roll down. This is a good roll down because, like...
Great. Fantastic, actually.
Yeah, I think just my main concern is that... we have binary airdrop on our carries. And then my secondary concern is that we don't have another Watcher for Garen. So... I think that we've got to solve those two problems. We've got to find more items. And we've got to put them on the units that have our items. Like you said,
but
sometimes you want coordination on one of these carries, right? I don't know why Rio moved the Tactician's Crown away. But that's okay. That's
okay.
something
At least is off. This still feels bad because you're not winning out, right? Even when you... I mean, personally,
yeah, it's really
I'm not
tough.
a big Malz fan.
No, Malzahar is like kind of a frustrating solo carry because like he just doesn't he needs another carry to help him out a little bit, or he needs a lot of frontline. And wow, well Nemo found the perfect timeline because Nemo found Ambessa 2 and a Jace for the backline and Caitlyn too.
Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness.
And Nemo is channeling the spirit of Noxus here because she finally started conquering.
Absolutely. And I love seeing this. I really do. And you're sitting on the Darius and Draven, which I like because...
Yes! Planning ahead.
Because you just never know. I would love to see it. I please.
Yeah, and look, Nemo's one of the players on 17 points. I think she needs a first in order to win the tournament. That's fine. Just go first.
Just go first with Conquer at 9.
As for what we're looking for, I don't love Redemption. I think the better option would have been a second Mordekaiser or a third Mordekaiser item.
Yeah.
You know what? That's fine. It's
I
think Rio's in hell. I'm sorry. I think Rio's in hell. that might just be over. I don't know what the game plan was, and I feel like Rio didn't know either. And it's the 4th game of the night, and maybe Rio just needs a nap or to go to bed. And you know what? I've been there too, but that's not the game plan that I would have loved to see.
I think it's a live and learn situation. But
yeah, we're living and we're learning.
I feel like Nemo is like. Just wait till you hit 440 is nice, but like you hit the 500s, oh, that's even better.
Oh, we got a cash out expert.
My only one concern is if you do hit a Conquer Spat, you can't use the Thieves Gloves that, you're getting from the Conch.
Oh.
Because, like, you'll
How
need room.
disappointing.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You gotta plan around that. Okay, wait. Rio actually found a way to make this board look a lot
Found
better,
some
in my
life,
opinion.
but I really do think it's short-lived. Just because of how ahead the rest of the lobby is.
Yeah, I mean, wait a second. I don't know if Mel's ability is active right now. If
It
Mel's
takes
ability
12,
is
right?
active,
Right?
yeah, I just don't know how to tell visually.
I don't know either. So once you figure that out, let me know.
Well, we can watch the fight, and if she does the big thing if Rio loses, we'll know. Rio does seem to be losing.
No,
Mel didn't do anything.
Not protected.
So maybe Mel already did it, because I know that Mel has been in for a little while. You know what? That's alright. Rio, good try. I genuinely don't mean to sound disrespectful. I think sometimes shit just happens.
I like we've been there too. Okay.
I've totally been there.
Invective got beat by Toronto. You know how embarrassing that is?
That's crazy that you brought that up.
I'm sorry.
You know what's also crazy is like I qualified through the open qualifier that Gangly held the night before the tournament, and I didn't even go first in the open qualifier. I went second, and then the player who went first was like, I can't go to Toronto versus Tri-State. He just came to the qualifier for fun.
Uh-huh.
So I got in fraudulently, but that's fine. I still represented Tri-State, still one of the American Avengers here. Anyways, the game's stacking up to be really interesting. Saladity, the points leader, level 9 with the Rebels, but doesn't have the Jinx 2 this time. Really trying to cook with this Elise front line.
Oh man, I actually thought that she had it. That is so frustrating to go down like that. And then Fluid Flem just stabilized and is back in the fight. Nemo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there was
on win the streak though. Okay, Conquer Spat one time.
Oh my god! Oh, do they know? Do they know?
Please, don't. Oh my.
Oh, you bad!
No, it's so bad. It's so bad. Oh my god, I'm so. I'm sorry. I'm probably triggering Twitch chat right now.
That's alright. I think that's reasonable.
I.
Valid crash out. Okay, wait, but like the perfect timeline is still going, right? We've got a third item for our Mordekaiser. Nemo's on her way to level 9, and she's gonna.
I'm sorry. I'm so mad. Ah.
As for the points, Rio and Salad were on the upper end of the points totals going into this game, but now the field is open. Nemo, Boywife, Mizuki, and Tostitos.
All right, get your revenge right
and
here.
they're all the players at the highest HP points in the lobby right now. And now Nemo's fighting Fluid Femme, who was the creeper.
I'll get your revenge. Let's do this. Come on. I'm sorry. Conquering me is just mad.
I mean,
okay?
and Bessa got her last chance, but the last chance is over.
No, please, Caitlyn, do something. Please. No. Well, didn't get revenge.
Okay, but you know what this means? Is that Fluid Femme was justified.
Yes, absolutely. Listen, if I was in Fluid Femme's position, okay, 100%, I'd do the same thing. I would have done the same thing. I'm just mad as a Conquer player. I want to see 9 so bad.
As a Conqueror.
Bad.
I, like, yeah, valid. Okay, so the field is completely open. Anybody can win 4,000 RP and claim the prize of Christmas Eve Eve. I think Tostitos could. I mean, it's just that this Mordekaiser kind of got hung out to dry. It's kind of unfortunate. I think Tostitos is just melting in the face of all of this conquering. Oh.
Okay, well, you know what? If Nemo...
Wait, but Tostitos does have one turn to play for Twitch 3.
I think a big problem with trying to... is this beefy front line of a Singed with a Radiant Dragonclaw, right?
Yeah. Boy Wife wasn't able to take it down either, and that's really frustrating. Because
this lobby's close.
I think that they cooked overall with taking quality over quantity. The way that they spread out their items makes a lot of sense to me. Having the double Warmogs on Garen and Mundo, like chef's kiss. That seems all well and good. I think there might have been one missed opportunity to take Bronze for Life 2, which I think most of the time it just is really good in this comp because you can play a ton of synergies at level 9 with a slightly different variation. But you know what? That's fine. I want to see if Boy Wife can crack the top 4 here. Maybe that nets them a little bit more RP.
I want to see. Can we quickly check Nemo to see where they're at in stacks? Okay.
Oh, she's close to 650.
I don't know what comes out. I don't remember. Okay, listen. Often I don't even reach 650 by the time the game is done.
Wait, what did Nemo do with her reforge with her remover? She got Edge of Night Jewel Gauntlet on Gangplank.
Huh. Okay, stun is in. Nah, okay, and also to remind chat, even like the more chests you open, the stronger you get. So Nemo's become a bit of a problem.
For sure. I mean, I can understand if there's like a victor in the game. Maybe that's a really good reason to get QSS onto Mordekaiser. But it's just a little bit. I feel like Nemo really made like a snap decision. Wait, Fluid Femme is out, and it was Tostitos who took Fluid Femme out of the game. And maybe it's just because of all the backline access. I don't really know, but this comp is super strong. Oh, Tostitos does have Bronze for Life. A lot of the power of Bronze for Life. All of these units get like 20% damage amp. And Twitch is headhunting.
Crazy. 20 kills too since the
anomaly. I don't think this anomaly is good. That's what I've heard. I don't think this anomaly is good, but that's fine. They're doing them. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay, like huge. This is something you know what Mordekaiser does. If you clump up and he hits you like that, you don't stand a chance.
Yeah, but SY doesn't have a choice, and Tostitos is out, and Nemo wins the lobby.
Nemo wins the lobby. Now, does it matter in terms of points? I would love to see this. Honestly,
I want to say it does. I want to say it does. I could be wrong. I don't want to speak too soon. I want to say Nemo has done it.
As a Conqueror fangirl, I would love to talk to Nemo about the thought process, because like I haven't seen Sojin work. I'm sorry if it seems like a flame. I didn't mean it. I swear.
As a fan of the perfect timeline, I think we found the perfect timeline.
We did.
Sometimes you have to face adversity, and then you overcome. Some would say you conquer the adversity. Fluid Femme griefed the Conqueror spat. Didn't get to see 9 conquer. That's okay. We overcame.
I wonder how many stacks they were at after that. I think past 650 for sure, and I believe that it was items. I need to check, But like I said, my games don't usually go past 550, so I'm if I'm lucky.
Yeah. I mean, I think that the Conqueror stacks were pretty high. I'm really interested to see their roll down. Like, I wish that there was that replay because I think that they could have had like a really, really cool turn or two where they found Ambessa, they found Mordekaiser, they found Jace, and they turned this. They found Caitlyn as well, and they turned the items that they had slammed into what was like a really solid late game composition.
Yeah.
I was with you. I didn't really see a plan for the Shojin on the standard Conqueror board. But I guess when you have +2 Conqueror, you have room to be a little bit less standard.
I want to say that isn't Sojin core?
What's that?
Isn't? Oh wait!
Oh my gosh!
Nemo what? No!
Nemo
won! Crazy!
And it came down to the last game because that was a tiebreaker.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait to interview them if they accept, of course. But sorry, I'm getting excited. My bad. So it did matter. I want to see if Sojin is core on Caitlyn because it seems like it is. Because it helps. It's an A. It's an A on Meta TFT. Yeah, it's S. So okay, my mistake. Clearly, you had a plan. I need to brush up on my skills too, I guess.
I mean, personally, I don't think Shojin's the best Caitlyn item in the world, but it helps her cast. That's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I think they just did what they could with what they had. Can we confirm again that? Okay, so we're waiting to see if Nemo wants to get an interview. Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, really cool day of play. We saw some amazing stuff.
That was so cool. It was so
a little bit shy of a 3-star 5 cost, and I don't know if there's a 3-star 4 cost anywhere, which is frustrating. But we did see 10 Rebel, and yeah, I mean, overall it was really cool.
Yeah, I did say in like the last lobby I wanted to see either Sniper Echo, what else?
We didn't get to see Deep Roots Lux.
Sniper Echo, 6 cost to see if it would change the tide of the war. Not war, but game. Sorry, game. And then Conquer. Like, I wanted to actually see 9 Conquer. It was so close. I know in chat they're apologizing. I'm not mad, okay? I'm not mad. I would have done the same thing you did. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything else to say other than this was a really cool tournament. Really high quality games in the 4 games that like we saw. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I guess we're just on standby, but no, do you have like a favorite moment of the tournament?
That I feel like Caitlyn was a highlight in general. Like we saw one Caitlyn off of 3-star. We saw Caitlyn kind of be a factor in the last game. Seeing the 10 Rebel was fun too.
Yeah, for sure.
Seeing Fluid Phlegm even try to mount a comeback, that was fun as well.
Yeah, in this game in particular, I mean, look, I've taken Prismatic Pipeline a handful of times, but I'm always disappointed because I never get to see another Prismatic or Gold Orb. But I know for a fact that if you do see one, your chances of winning just skyrocket. And I just want it to happen to me once. Take Prismatic Pipeline, get good stuff, then get rewarded unexpectedly and get more good stuff. Like, it's just my dream. I love when stuff that's good happens to me that I don't deserve, basically. I love high rolling.
I'm trying to think too, like how much added damage that Caitlyn had at the end of that game. Okay, we just got told that we're getting interviewed, so I can't wait. I can't wait to ask. But I try not to be fangirlish. Just.
Okay. Hi Nebo, congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
How are you feeling in that final game, and how about putting it together with the Ambessa and the rest of the Conqueror composition after what was like a pretty tough roll down?
I was like really dizzy at first, but I just pulled up TFT Academy and I just rolled with it.
Oh my gosh, huge shout out to Dishop and Frodan, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Conqueror? Okay, well, maybe I'll let Mburglar have this question because Mburglar is a bit of a Conqueror fan.
Okay, well, since Invector is calling me out a little bit, we watched you play Conqueror last game. You navigate a lot differently than like myself, just saying. And I'm a one-trick Conqueror player. And you brought up TFT Academy. So like, how did you get that all together?
I just coin flipped between Conqueror and Dominator because I thought they went hand in hand because I'm an emissary forcer, and I just slammed and just went with it. It's my first time playing full Conqueror comp.
Not bad considering it just won you a tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I think that over the course of the day, you had another win in game 2, right? So, what were you playing there, and do you feel like you have another highlight that you want to share with us, or what were maybe your proudest plays of the day?
The first game, I was super excited to go Enforcer when I got the Enforcer emblem. And then I was really surprised because I hit Caitlyn on level 8. And then I anomalied her, which was, I think that won me out the game. Yeah.
Oh wow, okay. So, we were talking earlier in the broadcast about how sometimes when you play Enforcers, you just have to hit Caitlyn on 8. And yeah, I mean, that sounds amazing. Do you think you had an opportunity to play around any of the 6 costs today? Or do you feel like they weren't as big of a part of the game as some might expect?
I think like my third game, I picked up a Victor off the carousel, but he didn't do much for me. So it was just the 5 cost, 2-star 5 cost that helped me out the most instead of 6 cost. Yeah.
Gotcha.
We have a couple more questions before we let you go and celebrate your big win. So I've noticed anyway that you've been around since the revival of Gal. So what does Gal mean to you?
I think it's a really cool space that everybody can get together and play tournaments, and the representation's amazing. And I'm just really happy that it exists and gives a platform to a lot of people. Yeah.
And before we let you go, got any shoutouts that you want to give out to?
My cousin Rebecca for supporting me. Yeah. That's all.
Wait, that's amazing. So wait, supporting you in TFT?
Yeah, she's my emotional support. She supported me every single tourney and watched when she can, and yeah, and comforted me whenever I lost.
Cool. That is so cool.
Wait, that's amazing.
Anyway, congrats on winning that juicy 4,000 RP. I really hope you know what you're gonna do with it. And congrats.
Yeah,
Thank
happy
you, guys.
holidays, Nemo. Thank you for joining us for the interview.
Thank you guys for having me. Happy holidays.
I think that is just about it for us. I believe. Oh, we have an announcement. Go ahead.
We actually have a couple of things before we wrap up. So we had a participation reward for all of the contestants, summoners, tacticians. Sorry,
Summoners.
I'm not good at this. For the tacticians, and the wonderful winner of this RP is none other than Celeste Dragoness. So congrats on winning that participant award of, I don't know how much RP. It's free RP though. And then we also want to thank our amazing sponsors and the Guardian Angel League team who organized this. Want to thank the broadcast uh, behind the scenes, our director Catherine, our admins Laura and Twonky, our casters myself and Invective, and as well as who did our graphics package, which was Cole and Tasha, and our moderator Blake. So we want to thank all the volunteers who have put on this show for us and able to do this for our community. If you want to get involved, you can type in !Discord and find out how to help out. And that is it for us. Vector, you got any shout outs you want to give out before we leave?
Yeah, I mean, shout out the viewers, shout out the players. Really happy to be a part of this around the holiday season, and I hope you all take care of yourself and your loved ones over the holidays. So yeah, that's it for me.
And that
Thank
is
you.
it for us.
Wait.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you to M Burglar. I feel like you're the only person you didn't get to shout out. Okay.
No,
Anyways,
it's okay. It's okay. But thank you and happy holidays.
happy
See you in
holidays.
2025.